Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another V1 live stream coming at you from South Georgia in the new HQ. How's everybody doing this Tuesday afternoon, evening, wherever you may be tuning in from? It is a pleasure to have you on board as we get ready to fire up the A330-900. No, it is not the Aerosoft 330. I wish it was. Someone knows Aerosoft. Tell them to hit me up. I'd love to do beta testing if they want to. They probably don't even care. But not the Aerosoft 330. No, it's a little misleading on the thumbnail. The reason for that is there is no Mexicana. There never was a Mexicana 330-900. They did operate the Classic, so this is not too far off had they have stayed in business. I believe COVID pretty much put the nail in the coffin for Mexicana, right? Maybe y'all in chat know the difference or know what was the end of Mexicana. But either way, we are here. We're going to have a great one today. I love this airplane. You guys told me about it. Were telling me about it. We did one kind of test stream last week on the 339, and I was loving it, man. I was loving it. So the only thing I've adjusted, we'll go over it here in a little bit, is I've kind of put some sensitivity on my pitch access only. But other than that, I'm having a lot of fun with this airplane. So thank y'all for staying on me, telling me to try it, because I'm very happy that I did. And we're gonna have a fun one today. We are starting a little mini Mexico tour. This is kind of Operation 400 subs, so we can get to our main Australian New Zealand tour, which will be coming at 35,000 subs. So this is just a little mini tour just to get us warmed up. So we're gonna fly down to Cabo today. A little bit longer flight, but we're gonna be doing 8.2, 8.3 because we're in a 330, and why not? So good to see everybody. Mr. Dougal McTavish, good to see you. Hola, sir. Good to see you. Buenos dias. Matt, the Flight Sim Guy, Blue Bear, Al W, Callie Simmer in the house. Good morning to you, sir. Callie Simmer, what's going on with the weather out here in LA, man? It's friggin' cloudy and rainy and dark. I loaded in the sim. I was expecting a nice sunny afternoon, but I guess it is what, like 9 a.m., 10 a.m. over there. But, oh well, we're going to have to roll with it. Tyson, good to see you. R. Cast Rig, good to see you. Mike P. in the house. Scott, what up, man? Cabo Wabo. Cameron White. Chase B. Merlin. Felix. And if I missed your name, apologize. Glad to have you all with me here. We are in the terminal here. Let's go ahead and... hold on, let me set this up like that. Boom. And we do have sim sounds, right? Should have sim sounds. Man, we're in the INI International Terminal over here. One World Alliance, Air China 981 parks over there on gate 159. That's why there's so many jet bridges here. In case they mess up their parking job, they can just adjust the jet bridges. No, I'm just kidding. But this is a really nice, look at this view right here from the top deck. Looking down the International 159. Looks like we got a Frontier over there. Ooh, who's landing over here? I just saw this. A little bit of stutter here. A lot of stuff going on. I got high scenery. We got high clouds. We got a lot of traffic. Ooh, is that a heavy coming in on the 2.4s? Look at that. Guys, if you haven't already, smash the like button for seeing some heavy traffic landing on 2.4 up here in Los Angeles. Awesome stuff. So, ooh, we got Tam over there. Now, I thought there was another airplane over here on this gate on this side. Let's take a little sneak peek. There is. Look at this. This is just busy day over here at the International Terminal. We got another A330. Ooh, that's a classic one right there. Looking good. I don't know what livery that is. Probably just a default Microsoft livery because, you know, we're doing Microsoft things. But, man, look at this terminal. Guys, if you haven't already, if you are wanting a hardcore LAX airport, look no further than the AnyBuilds LAX. Now, there are options to configure this scenery so it's not as heavy on your system, which I would recommend doing, but you will not be disappointed. Oh boy, here we go.
It sucks. Lol, happy to catch the flight though.
Callie Simmer starting off with $10 bank angle checks, man. Appreciate you. Well, we had a May Gray and now it's June Glooms. Yeah, it is what it is, man. I appreciate the $10 bank angle check. Too kind of you, sir. Very, very awesome. Appreciate that. So I did spend a weekend in Cali, and I guess the only day that I was there on Saturday was like the first day it was sunny. So my buddy, one of my best friends, he lives in California as well, so we got to hang out. It was a good time. Perfect California weather on Saturday, and I guess I left just in time. Look at this. The only canceled flight on here is American. Go figure. We got, where are we going today? Monterey, California, Oakland. Ooh, Filthy. American's going to Filthy off gate 3. Oh, now at 5:02. Oh, look there. Delayed. Capital double A's. Nothing else really going on here. But, man. New York, JFK, canceled. RIP. All right, enough of that. We've got a long one. We've got a full load of passengers, so I'm going to reset the camera here. We're going to go right back to the inside of our 330-900. Guys, welcome aboard. Greetings from Belgium, Peter DR. Good to see you, man. That's a long way away. Welcome to the stream. Glad to have you on board. Which is more enjoyable to fly, 320 or 330? Mr. Martini, I'm going to still edge to the 310 just because there are some... I took this plane up in the pattern, and it's good, but I have some questions about some of the flight characteristics. But actually, I did a full normal loss stall, and I wanted to see how everything was modeled as far as the pitch, trim, inhibit, and all that stuff. It actually is I mean, it takes a fly-by-wire system, so that should show you that internally there is a lot of stuff actually going on that is very accurate. Now, as far as pattern work, I did have some questionable scenarios, but I don't fly the 330 in real life. But Airbus is doing this thing, trying to make the one cockpit, what's it called? One cockpit initiative, trying to make everything very similar. The fly-by-wire characteristics should be very similar, if not identical, to the regular narrow bodies 320. So same thing, G load and roll rate, load factor demand, I should say, and roll rate. So I have some questions. We'll talk about it in cruise. I'm going to get this airplane fired up, guys, because we got to load 416 passengers. So bear with me real quick here as we go through the pre-flight steps and get the batteries on. We're going to go right into this one here. We're going to get the overhead light on because apparently California doesn't know it's summertime. So we need to go ahead and brighten up our cockpit. So you're getting a little bit of stutter in here. Let's go ahead and get some brightness on the displays. Oh boy. Oh, that sounds dangerous. Oh no, let's not do that. Let's not do that. Mike P, thank you so much, man, for the $10 bank angle check. Look, man, it's not weird because it might be mutual. So appreciate the support, though, dude. Very kind of you. Thank you for the $10 bank angle check. I don't know if you're actually on vacation or you're just, at work and you're just saying you're on vacation because you run the whole show. So, but appreciate it nonetheless, man. Thanks for the support. Glad to have you on board, man. Get a little floodlight action here. Do a little floodlight panel over here. Oh, yeah, look at this. There we go. Brighten up the EFIS and FCU. Mini FCU, where are you at? Can't wait for that thing to show up. All right, everything's good here. Let's go ahead and initialize the airplane. That's not how we do it. Let's go McDo, ACARS, and we're going to go ahead and do flight plan uplink request. Let's go ahead and get this going. Mr. Martini, yeah. The 310 is still, in my opinion, an uneducated opinion when it comes to flying a 330 or a 310. I feel like the 310 still feels more realistic. With that said, the 330-900 here from Headwind to fly-by-wire systems is a ton of fun, and as long as you're not trying to go up and do V1 cuts and stuff, I think you're going to really enjoy it. So, all right, here we go. LA, Cabo, alternative Mike Z. I don't know which one that one is. Mexicana. Now, is the call sign just Mexicana? Mexicana 357, 436 passengers. Oh, boy. So let's go up to the overhead. See, I still get that stutter. I even turned down my LOD and all that. Don't know what it is with this airplane when I do the view shifting in the cockpit. But other than that, I have really no problems. We're going to go captain only on the ADIRS there. That's off. We're going to go nav to position 1, auto. We'll arm you. We'll do a quick fire test. Overhead. Oh, and I did do some research. So this overhead is obviously from a 320 Neo Classic, however you may say it. This is not a proper 330 overhead, which I figured because the 330's got a bunch of other stuff that goes on up here. So I know we were talking about that on the last stream. Everything else looks good on the overhead. We're aligning. We did a fire test. We leave our fuel tank pumps off at this time. Do we need a dome light in here? I guess we could do a dome light. A little dome light action. Mazatlan. It might be Mazatlan. Last update somehow made sounds a little bit underwhelming in the 310. Oh, really, Paul? Yes. Oh, in the 310. I totally agree with you. We did that stream, last week or a little over a week ago? Yeah, I agree with you. It is a little bit underwhelming in the 310. All right, we need to call the fuel truck, though. So let's get the fuel truck. We need a little more gas. Let's get them going. Request refueling. They're on their way. We'll refuel via the EFB.
Please don't load aircraft until the fuel truck arrives and ask to do it.
Roger that. While that is doing that, I'm going to go ATC comm here, and we're going to go ahead and get a digital ATIS. I don't think we can get digital ATIS. We have to do a weather request. So that's going to be reports. Nope. This throws me off. Oh yeah, ATSU, it's at the bottom. AOC weather request is what we need, and I want to just go ahead and get all three. We'll pull that right now. And as soon as the fuel truck shows up, we're going to pump on. I think we need another 10,000 pounds. Yeah, we need about 42,000 pounds, and then we'll immediately start the boarding process because it might take some time. While we wait, let's go ahead and set up for our departures. I know we're going to be taking 2.5 right for departure anyway, so let's get 2.5 right in here. Our departure procedure today is the Panda 2. So we're going to go Panda 2 off 2.5 right. Oops, I skipped it. Panda 2. And we're going out to Ote, not Tecate. Insert that. There's our Panda 2 departure. Looking good. With the disco from Ote, we're going direct to, as indicated, TIJ. That is correct. So while we're looking at it, we'll go ahead and we'll clear this disco right here. Would you guys be interested? Would you guys be interested? Please don't load fuel just yet. I'm not going to load it just yet. Would you guys be interested if I ran a third-party, full-blown MCDU as well? So kind of like how we have the Throttletek cam and the tiller cam and stick to cam during pre-flights. Do you guys even care? Would you even care about that? Like, I'm going to test out another one because there's a couple different markets for Airbus McDoos, but I don't know how popular that would be. Obviously, personally, I could do without it, but if it's something that you guys would like to see on stream, maybe it's something worth looking into. All right, here we go. Let's load up Cabo. Team Vodka says no. Why? Because then you're going to have to get one. Flight sim guy, you'd definitely be interested. So I bring it up because I was talking to Wrong Side Sim, who runs a couple different ones, or he runs one, and he showed me one that he doesn't have, but it's similar. It looks interesting. It looks very interesting to me. I don't know how they handle within the sim, but if it's something that you guys would be interested in, I'd probably work on it. All right, we're going to do the Inoko 1 Alpha into Cabo. Now, there's a couple different approaches. Do we want to come in over the water or 1.6? 1.6 is kind of lame. 3.4, you come in over the water. 1.6 we typically land on. I'm going to tell you what we're going to do. We're going to set up for the RNAV 3.4. And we're going to do, so that would be the Ineko 1 Bravo. And let's look at the approach. See, every time I do it, every time I do that. 41.6, go ahead and start fueling, please. So they're going to start fueling. Let's pull out our nav charts. You're doing RNAV 3.4. See the stutter on that? Like, that's, and I'm telling you, it's probably my rig, but you know, out here on the wing views, it's not bad. It's only in the cockpit. So he's hooked up and doing things over there. You're doing the RNAV 342, Team Vodka? Good deal. So let's look over at the charts for our arrival. Let's see, stars for 3-4 on the, so it's going to be the Ineko 1 Bravo. We planned the 1 Alpha, but if we're going to go this direction, actually, what did we plan? We planned the 1 Alpha, but 1 Alpha is for the other way. Yeah, 1 Alpha takes you in this direction. So we're going to be on the Bravo, the Ineko 1 Bravo, and we'll probably take it off of Ineko, which would make sense. Okay, now let's look at our approach, and we're going to do RNP 3.4. Now, I think I told you guys this, my first flight ever as a captain in the Airbus, I should say. My first ever flight as a captain in the Airbus after I got released from training, so I'm no longer on OE or whatnot. I flew into Cabo. We couldn't do the RNP. We had to do a VOR DB approach to 3.4, and at the time, I had never landed on 3.4 going north into Cabo. I'd always landed on 1.6, so. And it was kind of at minimums too, so that was a fun experience. Let's see here. We got 1, 2, and 3. I don't remember this one's got an arc. We're not doing a procedure turn. We're not doing that one. I don't want to do it. Ooh, this is pretty hardcore. VOR DME 2. This is the one I think I did in real life because I know we had an arc. Now in the Airbus, it's pretty easy. You can arc in FMS mode. I think we did the VOR DME 2 if I'm not mistaken though. Came in on and then we just did this. But if we look at the RNP 3.4. We could take it all the way to Avru. Let's take it to Avru. Or do we see if it'll arc? Screw it. Let's see if it'll arc. Where could we join it from? Daesan, Menvi. I think I already loaded up the RNP though. Yeah, I already did. So let's do it off Avru. That's fine. We'll do the RNP. The Ineko 1 Bravo, Avru, no transition unless we do approach via. We selected Avru. Good. Insert. Done. Flight plan is secured. Can you say which McDo you were looking to showcase? Swarm. Let me I have to look it up, man. Oh, here it is. Flight Deck Solutions. Flight Deck Solutions. It's pretty pricey procedure. So I just, I didn't want to. We'll see. It's just something on the table. Perf data, we're going to leave that. We'll go to init B here. We're going to do this when we are done boarding. Looks like we have our gas and the fuel truck is done, so we can go ahead and request boarding. Refueling completed. So at this point...
V1 just wanted to say I love your streams and videos.
Haha, thank you so much, Chase. Appreciate the $1 bank angle check. Right back at you, my friend. Very kind of you. I'm glad you're enjoying the content, man. Hope you enjoyed this one all the way down to Cabo. So look at this, guys. 436 passengers. We need to go ahead and start the boarding process now because we're going to be here a minute. But this is part of the immersion factor. We've got 200 people watching. You guys like seeing long haul stuff. We're not going to skip the boarding. We're going to just go ahead and do a proper boarding. We're going to sit here until we load up 436 people. Now, it'd be cool if you can do, I think they still load single jetway. Yeah. I know in other countries sometimes they do front and back, but I don't see that in the US very often. So they're going to do the boarding. We're going to leave this page up, but our fueling has been completed. We have 41.6 on board, so we'll go ahead and put that in here in the block fuel number. That looks good. We'll verify in the tanks. Everything looks good. It is on board and balanced. With that done, let's go ahead and get our fuel tank pumps on. And we'll just go ahead and take a little sit out here on the wing view. I think the clouds and fog are making it worse today. Team Vodka, you're probably, man. Yeah, I wouldn't say my system's chugging right now, but I did turn down the T-Laud and, any builds and all that stuff. So it's, you got to adjust systems accordingly, especially when you're running overcast clouds here in LA and SoCal. Yes, we want to board both, please. Shaq Oatmeal. Good to see you, man. Hey, blessings on blessings today, Shaq. Dude, it's makes me happy, man. I love following your progress and seeing you continue to make moves in your career in aviation. So, hey, man, keep at it, stick with it, and you'll be riding up front in one of these in no time, dude. No time. Thank you so much, Shaq. Appreciate you. Hope you have a good day. Don't work too hard out there on the ramp, man. It's getting warm. Functional dual jetways, yeah. There we go. All right, now I can get back to the chat. So we were just taking our time there, getting the airplane set up. I've thought a couple times about making my own McDo for the sim. I think I'm going to do it, but it takes some designing. Yeah, it does. Cards and games, it does. Delta Tango, good to see you. Just lurking while working. We'll be sure to watch the replay. Good deal, man. Anthony Teal, you have the Flight Deck Solution 7.3 FMC. Very nice product, sturdy, and buttons are good. Well, that's good to see. Ramp Worker Gang, there you go. It was fun to watch Shaq last night, wasn't it, Delta? Went off. Good deal, man. Got a shift just pushing today. Shaq, nice, dude. Shaq, I got a question for you. How do you determine who does lav service? How do you determine who's doing lav service out there on the ramp? Because the other day I saw some nasties going down. That's kind of a cool view. We'll watch them do some loading there with the ULD. I would say that like whoever was the last to show up on shift is the person who should be dedicated lav service. Man, if you get to just push back all day, that's awesome. It's going to be 105 next week in Texas on Thursday. Ouch. I got to tell you what. For all you Georgians out there, I know it's not hot. I know it's not super hot yet. But the other day, people were like, oh, it's already getting hot. And I'm like, this is nothing. And what's really nice, and it may be the location, because I imagine Atlanta doesn't cool down at night because of all the concrete. When I grew up in the desert, kind of the same thing. Out in Phoenix, it was hot. It was like 110 degrees at 1 o'clock in the morning because all the retention of the heating from the pavement. But you got out in the desert, it was cooler. Where we live here in Georgia, man, it got to like, I think 90 degrees or something. But at night, man, it gets down to the 60s. Just go out there, look at the lightning bugs. Showing my kids all the little creatures and stuff. It's just the night times here are awesome, and the mornings have been wonderful as well. Shaq says you actually bid for it. You can bid to drive the honey wagon. Is that what you call it? The honey wagon? Good night. That's funny, man. Mr. Martini says we're preheating in Georgia. All right, so it's I know it's going to be worse. I know it's going to be worse. Low man on the totem pole. You know McDo is like step one of building the whole cockpit, right? Well, yeah. I know I'm not going to build a whole cockpit. I don't know. I say that, but and this is going to sound silly, because I've used full cockpit procedure trainers, obviously, and things like that. Oh boy, we got a VATSIM Toga going on out here next to us. Who just started up? Ooh, we got an American and AirCal livery. We got to watch that, but let's watch it from the inside view. We'll watch that American do his pushback there. So, I lost my train of thought. What were we talking about? Dang it, I was going to say something. Oh, well, obviously wasn't that important. You're from Arizona, fake Texan? No, hey, Ron. Not from there. But I lived, and I actually spent a large portion of my childhood in the desert of Phoenix. But, I mean, there's nothing like Texas weather. I have yet to be in a state. I've lived in Arizona, lived in Texas, obviously, lived in Florida, lived in Georgia, lived in California. I think that's it. I've lived in all those states. There is no weather, I'm telling you. There's no weather like Texas weather, specifically North Texas weather. Every state wants to be like, oh, yeah, if you don't like the weather, just wait 5 minutes, it'll change. It is not more true than it is in Texas. I remember one day being like 105 degrees, and then the next morning I woke up to our gazebo blowing off the patio and freezing rain and winds at like 40 miles an hour. Literally the next morning. And I think like a day after that we had a tornado. And that's just normal. Like, that's not anybody from Texas. Y'all like, yeah, that's just, you never know what you're going to get. Oh my goodness. Mike P has dropped 10 gifted subs. Mike P, my man, thank you for the support. Guys, if you pick up a gifted sub from Mike P, let him know you appreciate that. Get some emojis in there. You are now one of us. Good deal, Mike P. I appreciate the support, man. Hey, we'll, if you guys are members, you get access to little shorts videos too. I just released one. I just got off a 4-day trip, y'all, and it was wild towards the end. We actually timed out, so it turned into like a 3.5-day trip because we didn't have enough flight time or enough legality time to continue our day 4. But it was wild, coast to coast to coast, three times in 3 days. So I was pretty tired yesterday. Pretty tired. Oh, I was talking about using full training, full motion sim. There we go. So, and this is going to sound, I remember exactly what I was going to say. So you guys want to say, oh, I want to build a full cockpit. Here's the deal. When you have a full cockpit in front of you, you no longer really get to enjoy the visuals of the cockpit in the sim. Because why would you have this up here when you have a full cockpit? So you would have to like just set your view kind of like this or whatever. And then every time you look down, you would manipulate your cockpit from in first person, obviously, where you're sitting. And I think that just, I don't know. I feel like that maybe doesn't break the immersion, but I like being able to see everything up here. I think the EFIS FCU is going to be sweet. Having a McDo I think would be awesome too, because then I can adjust the McDo while we're still flying. Like say we're doing this view right here, I can just go ahead and adjust the McDo like I would in the real airplane without looking down or without having to change camera views. So I think it could be helpful. But yeah, that's, I know it's going to sound silly to a lot of you, but like the so like in fighter sims or in DCS, like digital combat simulator combat sims, I know guys like to run full immersive pits, right? And unless you have VR is the exception. That's what Chaos bring up. Unless you have VR, you're not going to be looking at the cockpit. You're just going to have the open view on your screen. But man, the cockpit, I like looking at the details in the cockpit. I like seeing the switches in the cockpit, the shit. Like, I like that part when I am on my, doing my own sim thing. So that's why I'm not too into the full-blown cockpit thing. Did you know the airline you're flying now is extinct? I did. I feel like someone like me who runs on those settings, a full cockpit wouldn't change much visual-wise. There you go. Javier, good to see you, man. Yes, Cyclone, we need a light panel. No doubt about it. We need a light switch panel. A mini light switch panel. I watched a 320 fly over Madison Friday night from Newark to LA. Didn't know oh yeah, 320s cross, heck yeah, Delta Tango. So this is a common misconception. If you take 3 classics, 19, 20, and 21, all classic 320 Airbus, no extended nonsense, just straight out of the factory, classic config. The 319 has the furthest range. So 320s most definitely can cross the Gulf. 320s could probably go, well, I don't know about going across the pond, but you could definitely take them to Hawaii. So it just depends on your fuel loading. And when you start talking about the Neo, if you get an ACT, now you really start talking about getting some range. But that's why I always thought the 319 Neo would be a fantastic airplane to have, because that sucker would go a long way. LA Tower is on. Beautiful. 2095. Good deal. What did you think of the Fokker 28 sound preview, Evil Cookie? I was watching that before the stream went on. Dude, I cannot wait for that Fokker to come out. I am chomping at the bit for that airplane to come out. I want to fly some Piedmont ops. So if you guys aren't familiar with the Fokker 28 or F-28, Just Flight, which I love their BAE 146. I really do. They're working on basically it's a regional jet. Old school regional jet with better sounds. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So I can't wait for that one. I'm trying to see if we have any passengers coming down a jetway. Oh, we'd have to go to the other jetway. But we don't have a cabin, so we wouldn't be able to see them coming down anyway. I wish we could board from both sides, you know? Can I request catering while we're sitting here? Or that stop the boarding? Let's see if we can get some catering. I want LSG because they're the OG. Let's get some catering on board. Let's get some tortillas and some fajitas. Ooh, tonight we're doing chimichurri steak fajitas, I think. So I'm going all out. We're going to do Mexican food this week. Mexican streams. Madmatic123, welcome to Private Pilot, sir. Glad to have you on board. Team Green, exclamation point, welcome for your new perks, dude. Appreciate you. GSX says you're about a quarter loaded. Yeah, we got a ways to go. Evil Cookie says, I thought Toga exterior jet engine sounds were pretty amazing. On this airplane, I don't think I've done Toga exterior. We might have to try that out. We'll have to see how many likes we can get. We'll have to see how many people tune in. For the 319 Neo, perhaps the economics of staff and lease payment doesn't add up with so few passengers over such long flights. That, I think, is probably an issue, Delta Tango. But see, it really is specific on the operator, because even the 321 XLR has its issues with floor loading. Because of the added fuel tank, they have to adjust the structure, and then if you adjust the structure and you move cargo around, now you're minimizing how much room you have for cargo and for bags. And typically, if you're taking an XLR somewhere, you're going somewhere far, so people are going to have bags, right? So when you start shrinking the baggage compartment, that's an issue. If you have to start changing the way the floor loading is laid out, now you can't fit as many seats in there because of the weight on top. So that is one of the issues that you see with the XLR, depending on the operator. For like all economy class airlines, it's not the best option, because the way an economy class airframe works in a low-cost carrier scheme, they need those seats in there. So if you start pulling seats out, it's not very good. So that's kind of one of the problems with the XLR when it comes to low cost. Now the 319, I don't know what they would have to adjust as far as
Tuesday bank angle check.
Floor loading. Oh, Alpha Mike, bank angle check. Taco Tuesday it is, man. Bank angle check right back at you, man. Appreciate the $5. Thank you so much, man. Yeah, I'm gonna do some fajitas. I got a griddle too, so I got just got a new Blackstone griddle, so I'm gonna do the fajitas on that. Do some tortillas. It's gonna be good, man. Gonna be good. No problem, V1. It's great to see you back up and running in the new V1 HQ. Yeah, it is, man. It's good to be up and running. So this long haul stuff is going to make me want to, like, these airplanes, this 330 and when Aerosoft drops, it's making me want to do more long haul flying, which I don't know why you guys like it, because from a streamer perspective, it's, number one, it's a lot of work. It's a long day away. Now, if I was at home, it'd be different, but I'm kind of getting that itch to do long haul stuff, and we're definitely going to have a long haul when we start our official New Zealand Australia tour. So I hope y'all are ready for that. Yeah, Chaos. The 220 killed the 319 Neo. I wouldn't say it killed it, but it's definitely hurting it. I think Airbus actually would prefer to do a 319 Neo, but because of the 220, from what I understand, they don't make a lot of money on those 220s because they weren't set up for that. I mean, they have factories where they can just chop and drop Airbuses out. You start throwing in the 220, now it's going to take more years. It's going to take a lot of time to get them to the same efficiency as they was with their own airplanes. So I think, and I may not know anything, but I think Airbus probably would prefer people ordering Airbus straight like 319s instead of the adopted bus, like the 220, but you do have a point. MinFam, thank you for the 11 months of support. Almost a whole year been away from flying. Miss it. MinFam, well, appreciate you stopping by. Thank you for the continued support. And hopefully you can get to flying soon. Chris Chavis Davis, good afternoon. Welcome, man. I'm pumped for the 777 PMDG. Yeah, it'll be aight. I'm more pumped. How much hate am I going to get for this? What if I told y'all I was more pumped for the Aerosoft 330 than I am for a PMDG 777? It's a hot take. And trust me, I know PMDG is going to drop an amazing 777. I had every single PMDG aircraft in FSX and P3D. So I know they make phenomenal airplanes. And I know Aerosoft cannot compete with PMDG. But I'm more pumped for the 330 from Aerosoft. Mike P., amen to that, brother. I want it in the sim all the same. Yeah, I mean, I want it A220 red-headed step bus, but you want it in the sim. Yeah, I would like to see a 220 in the sim. I really would. I just think, as we watch these lovely catering trucks go away, how many of you as kids, or maybe you still have them, used to have these trucks for airport building? I used to build airports on the carpet when I was a kid, and I remember that's why I always use LSG, because I have these exact trucks. I'm just bummed Aerosoft won't be study level. Flight sim guy, what do you mean by study level? You know, like, I'm not typed on the 330, so you're not going to find me doing V1 cuts and single engine procedures. Now, we might try it just for fun, but I don't have the checklist or procedures to do a bunch of abnormals. So for me, if I get a 330 that operates in a normal configuration like A to B flying and all of the day-to-day systems function properly, such as hydraulics, fuel burn, transferring of fuel, CG shifting throughout your fuel burn, etc. If all that stuff is modeled correctly, I personally would be happy. Now, if I was typed and flying a 330 in real life, then I would probably agree with you, like, man, I wish PMDG was doing a 330 because then I can do emergency procedures in a 330. So just gotta look at it from all the different perspectives. I want a 7.5, 7.6 more than a triple, and a 330 and a 380. Yeah, I would much rather take a 7.5 from PMDG than a 777. Hands down, 200%. The 777 I know is a lot of people's favorite airplane. I personally don't know why. I just think it's a big 737. It just seems boring to me. Now, it's a beautiful airplane. The 777, what's the stretch one? It's the 300? The long triple? It is a beautiful airplane. I get it. But, I mean, it's a 737, man. I'll take a 7.5 over a triple, and I'll take a 7.4 400 from PMDG over the triple. So for me, it'd be 7.5, 7.4 triple if I could have it. Yeah, I agree, Steven. That's what I was basically trying to say, beating around the bush wise. All right, as we're loading up here, let's come back inside. We got about half loaded. Let's go ahead and see what the temperatures are because it might start warming up, but it is Cali. 26. So as the bodies start to come onto the airplane, it does heat the cabin. That is true in real life. So let's go ahead and get the APU fired up, shall we? We'll go ahead and go here. Let's take a listen to the APU, see if we can hear it fire up out here. Ooh, that was the door opening. Oh, Jeremy, a PMDG L1011. Jeremy, a PMDG anything tri-jet, L1011 or 7.2, I would take vacation for a month from work. I would legit say, hey, I'm not coming into work. I'm dropping everything for vacation time because I'm flying PMDG tri-jet around Microsoft Flight Simulator. Jeremy, I don't know if you missed it, but I had the Latin American theme on the countdown of this stream, and everyone was pretty hyped. I love that song, dude. You got your work cut out for you for the next tour, Jeremy, because that Latin one is really, really good. I mean, I cannot help myself but, like, want to start dancing. All right, good APU sounds. All right, we got the APU fired up. Let's go ahead and give it a 3-minute chrono in here. We're going to run 3 minutes on the chrono. That way we can burn off any, if the, like, during shutdown or any contamination has gone into the inlet. We're going to let it burn off for 3 minutes before we turn the bleed on. That's going to help prevent any fumes from entering the cabin. We do have a company message. I think this is just our weather that I called for. Let's go ahead and see what we got here. We got our METARs. We're going to print those out. So LA is winds calm, few overcast at 5, 299er 0. I'm just going to hit the magic barrel ref key right now. That's been done. Cabo, same deal. Calm winds, skies clear, 29er 86. A beautiful day down in Cabo. A precautionary alternate for international operations. We got, I'm not sure what that is. Someone says Mazatlan. It might be 21 at 4. That's another beautiful day out there. Cool. So you're going to have, depending on the operator, I've never flown for a 121 airline that would not give you an alternate to a single runway international destination. So going to Mexico with one runway down there, even if sky's clear, you're going to have a precautionary alternate, because if someone, God forbid, balls one up on the runway or there's some type of failure and the runway just becomes blocked, where are you going? So and you start flying in different countries, you don't always have an airport right underneath you. Flying in the 48, I can never say that, contiguous 48 states, you have an airport pretty much 30 minutes from you no matter where you look, because it's just so densely populated. You start flying out over Mexico, South America, that's not necessarily the case. So precautionary alternate there, but everything looks good. 299er 0. We'll go back and did I hit print? I did. We'll go ahead and rip that off. We'll set 2000 here, and Tower and ATIS is online, so we don't have to get a clearance from them, do we? I never can figure this out. If Tower's online, do we have to get clearance from them, or we just call them ready to push? I don't know why I can never figure that out. Constraint mode is on. 1 more minute, and then we'll turn on the bleed sound. Oh, Jeremy, absolutely. You've got more than a week, man. Jeremy, you got plenty of time. If United can justify 777 on medium haul like O'Hare to Vegas, I'm sure you can fly 330 over similar. Oh, yeah, absolutely, Delta Tango, absolutely. Are there any L-10s still flying? Not to my knowledge, Mr. Martini. Not to my knowledge. I think there's some DC-10s flying. Actually, yeah, I know there's DC-10s flying, but there may be some test beds somewhere. I know there's a handful of 727s still flying that are privately owned, but as far as an L-10, I don't know. Felix, yeah, Delta runs the 7.5 and they run the 7.6. They run the 7.6 and 7.5 to Florida. And those guys, 5 legs a day, man. That's all you do. Atlanta, Orlando. Atlanta, Orlando. Atlanta, Orlando. Every day on a 7.6, dude. No thank you. Call Tower for clearance. All right. Top down. I love that phrase, Andy Ivy. I still don't understand what it means. Top down, Tower does ground and clearance. But why would it be top down? Because the first center controller in range is Albuquerque. So he's technically on top. So I technically should call Albuquerque center because he's in range. But then Tower is also online. It's so confusing. All right, we'll call him for clearance. 2095. I guess we'll do that while we're sitting here. 2095. We'll put that in column 1. Turn it up a little bit, and let's give him a call. We have information. He's not on top of LA though. Oh, well, so I have to like pull out a map. That's hard. That's too much work. All right, information Juliet. Mike P, I don't know, man. You never know where the center lines are. Like when you go Dallas to LA, you hit Albuquerque Center, then you talk to LA Center, and I think you go back to Albuquerque for a short time, and then you go back to LA. I don't know. Or you talk to LA over Vegas. And that's too much work for me, man. I'm just a pilot, dude. I just, move the stick around and just go where the paperwork tells me. All right, we need to call. You always call bottom up. Aha! Aaron Hastings. That makes sense, dude. Bottom up. So if ground was online, I'd call ground. If clearance was on, I would call clearance, then ground, obviously. Tower's on, then I would call... Okay, I see. Y'all need to start saying bottom up. That makes way more sense than top down. Way more sense than top down. Iron Man, I just work here. Exactly. All right, let's give this guy a call. 2095. I think it's bound correctly. And let me pull up my flight plan just in case he gives me something funky. I don't recognize the phrase. And here we go. LA Tower, good afternoon. Mexicana 357 Heavy information. Juliet, IFR down to Cabo. Oh, I said IFR. I hate saying IFR. Don't ever say that.
Mexicana 357 Heavy, Los Angeles Tower. Good morning, sir. Cleared to Cabo International Airport. Panda 2 departure, OTA transition been as filed. Climb via settings that maintain 5,000. Expect flight level 390, 5 minutes after departure. Departure frequency is Saturday offline, squawk 6711.
All right, clear to Cabo, Panda 2, OTA transition as filed. Climb via the SIDX that maintain 5,000. Expect 390 in 5 minutes. Departures offline, squawking 6711 from Mexicana 357.
Mexicana 357, read back correct. Expect runway 25, right for departure. Information Juliet is current and device ready for push.
Roger, we'll call you ready for push. We have Juliet expecting 25 right, Mexicana 357. All right. Yeah, don't ever call up saying IFR. You're a 330-900. You're going IFR. Oh, God. Team Vodka just said just IFR. They know you're going IFR. Just say clearance. Say like,
who's calling again?
Mexicana 357, clearance to Cabo. Like you don't need to say IFR. Don't say IFR ever. Oh my God! That's like.
Cactus 909 Los Angeles Tower. Good morning, sir. I currently do not see a flight plan, sir. Did you forget to file it?
Yeah, he did. He forgot to file it.
It was about 2 hours ago. So
all right, there's our time. We got plenty of time. We're as filed. Let's go ahead and get the bleed on.
File it. I'll get you going.
I don't know why I said IFR. That's just left a bad taste in my mouth. I feel like I need to call him back. Be like, hey, can I redo this whole scenario here? All right, air conditioning is on. We're cleared as filed. We're going to go back to the NID-B page. We're waiting on that. We got a new squawk code of 6711. That is done. Tower Mexicana 357 with you requesting IFR. Oh my gosh, it just hurt my eyes to read that, Aaron. You literally just hurt my eyes. See the stutter in the turn? I don't understand. It's something with either something with my rig or this airplane. I don't know why. 5,000 is set. We're on APU power. Let's go ahead and get rid of external power. Cabin's going to be cooling down nicely. Oh, yeah, look at that. There we go, right over the wing view. Let's look a little bit of LA. That's a nice shot right there. VFR on top, 390. Man, yeah, don't ever say I'm going to make an emoji for that. There's a dude that keeps flying 320 in Geneva VFR on VATSIM. Hey man, if you owned your own 320, no one can stop you from flying VFR, Dougal. It is completely legal. Now I don't know if VATSIM has any policies regarding that, but I remember one time, true story, Dougal, I was flying a Citation. We were going Phoenix to Las Vegas, and because of the airspace congestion, and there was some thunderstorms in the Vegas area.
909 heavy. Yes, looks like.
They wanted us to fly way out to the east and then come back around to Vegas, and we didn't have the fuel for that. So I just said, look, hey, Citation XXX, we're going to cancel IFR, request VFR flight following 17.5. And we literally flew 17,500 feet VFR in a jet to Las Vegas because we didn't have the fuel nor the time to go way out and do what ATC wanted us to do. So sometimes that can work for you. Sometimes that can screw you. You just got to be careful. I also have that stutters changing views. Pre-cache is on high in my settings. I think I have my pre-caching off. I don't know why that. I don't know what's up with that. I wonder if John Travolta flies VFR. Hey, nothing can stop him. Unless
all right, we'll expect 25 right. We have Juliet. We are ready for push.
You're ready for push already?
And Cactus 909, push on a Kilo Hotel, facing north, runway 25 right.
All right, we're almost there, y'all. Let's go ahead and, since we're going to push, let's review our procedures here since we're getting ready towards the end. We want to be ready to go. So let's pull out our from charts, our taxi charts, pin charts. Oh, I never did departure.
Field north.
Sid is Panda 2. I love this
No worries.
EFB or this fly pad, man. This fly pad is awesome. Pin charts. Here's the Sid. Let's do a quick departure brief. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's do a full-blown brief since we're doing it by realism today. So we're going to start with the taxi diagram. All right, are you guys ready for a brief? All right, we are I forget what our gate number is, but we're on the Bradley International Terminal. We're going to start them up. We're going to be a 2-engine taxi, 2-5 right. There is a hotspot down there, but we'll take it full length.
57.5.
I'm going to turn off that sim for a second. Taxi 2-5 right, full length, 1 hotspot to cross unless we're on Charlie. Then it's not an issue for us. We're not going to take an intersection departure at Foxtrot. We're going to require and request full length. Emergencies prior to V1 as previously brief. After V1, we're going to take it straight out over the water, speed up, clean up 1,000 feet, we'll come back around. We might have to dump some fuel. And then we'll set up for an overweight landing here in LA. If all goes as well on the SID, we're on the Panda 2 departure procedure. We got our initial altitude of 5,000 feet from ATC. First restriction is going to be Docker or Hipper, depending on which one. It's going to be Docker off 2-5 right at or below 3,000, which, unless you're an F-16, you're probably never going to hit that. A couple other restrictions on the SID, which are going to be a no factor to us. Top altitude is flight level 200. As brief, we have 5,000 initial. We got a good squawk of 6711. Any questions? No questions. Pre-flight checklist. Maintenance log and tail number on board and check. Cockpit preps complete. Gear pins and covers removed. Signs on. Audio. ADIRS, Navin. Fuel required for takeoff. 37.6 on board. 41.6. Altimeter's 29090 is set. EFB checked. 4-star checklist or cockpit preparation checklist is complete. Got the cabin cooled down, 22C. That's perfect. Almost there with the passengers. We are ready to go. Look at that. There's a heavy pushback over there. Can we have a crossbleed second engine start? No. I actually don't. I'm sure it can. I don't know if it's modeled. I think it would be. I don't know. Chaos? Would it? Can the fly-by-wire do crossbleed start? I've never tried it in the fly-by-wire. I would imagine this airplane would be the same scenario if it is modeled, but we're not gonna single engine taxi this puppy. We're doing 2-engine taxi. We got 436 people on board, so it's gonna give us a nice heavy load. I had once a 330 due to maintenance restriction. Also, a similar issue from a shorter alternate, and local authority requires you to state your flight plan type on call. Interesting. Center of Aviation, we had a Captain Sim 707 in the FSX days. That was all right. It was all right. Back to work, Iron Man. Man, I'm sorry we just sat at the gate the whole time for you, but thank you for stopping by. Appreciate you. Okay, it's still pretty basic on engine start. No worries. Way back pre-9/11, I sailed here from San Diego in a beat-up old Catalina 3-0 amazing trip. Wow, Dougal. That's awesome, man. Yep. Pre-9/11. A lot of things changed aviation, and a lot of things changed everything after 9/11. This beast is difficult for you to taxi. Matt, you gotta be very careful of your speed, your ground speed when you're taxiing this airplane. So on any sim, it's hard to get a sense for how fast you're actually going because you don't feel it on your body. If you're doing any turn over 45 degrees, make sure you're less than 10 knots. That'll help. But I agree with you. This plane is a little bit tricky to taxi. I don't know if it's just because of the slowness of the way the nose wheel turns, which could be a 330 thing. I'm not sure. But you just have to take your time with it. And the best way to check your speed is on your ground speed, which will be right here when you're taxiing. So this is what we use in real life right here. So anything more than 45 degrees, less than 10 knots. In the 320, in fact, if you're over a certain gross weight, 150,000, 147,000, no, 138,000. I don't know. I should know that number. You're not supposed to exceed 20 knots in a turn, which no one's doing 20 knots in a turn anyway. But that is a limitation for the 320 for the nose wheels. 100, that's going to bother me now. Do not exceed 100 and, oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank. See, that's why I got to study, guys. I got recurrent coming up. It's a limitation that I just kind of tossed in the back of my mind because, okay, I know as long as I'm not going 20 knots in a turn, I'm going to be fine. Let me see here. I'm gonna find it. I have it in my phone. My 167, 5,550 pounds. Jeez, I was way off. When the taxi weight is higher than 167, 550, do not exceed a taxi speed of 20 knots during a turn. It's way off. All right, we're almost there, folks. Air is on. We'll cool it down a little bit more. We'll cool down the back side because the back of the airplane always gets hotter. Everything looks good. You've been briefed. I've been briefed. We are almost ready to go. Who is excited? If you're excited, smash down that like button. 320 people watching a full simulation boarding happening. Give yourself a like for watching full simulation loading. We haven't even pushed off the gate. You guys are awesome. Thank you for the support. Let's do a couple more outside shots. We got all kinds of traffic out here today. Cam 321 is in the house. Good to see you, man. Hope you're well, Cam. Cloudy day you got here in LA. Made it just in time for the 105 freeway, plus LA traffic can be a killer. Oh yeah. What aircraft can I use in Microsoft for flights over 8 hours besides Captain Sims and VAL? Because Captain Sims not allowed. Over 8 hours? In Microsoft, you said, right? 737. I don't know if the 800 or 7. I don't know if the 800 can go over not 8 hours. If you filled up a 320 full gas, you'd be stretching the legs of it. I don't know. We need more heavy. We need more wide bodies, no doubt. You probably could, depending on where you're going and your passenger load. You might be able to fly a 320, but VAL, they're pretty strict. They're going to set up the route for you and the aircraft for you. So you're not going to be able to take an airframe that wasn't actually on that route. That's what's very cool about VAL is they are Pete Monitor and the mods and owners of that VA have done a fantastic job of looking for real schedules, historic timetable schedules. So you are flying actual routes with actual flight numbers and actual airframes. All that work is done for you. You don't have to do any searching at all. So if it lets you book it, you should be good. A BBJ could do it. Yeah, BBJ for sure. Yeah, I don't think we have any 7.4s, Chaos. Andy, good to see you, man. Welcome. You've been briefed. I've been briefed. We're both wearing briefs. AJ. June gloom, Mr. Martini, indeed. Aviator, welcome to the stream, dude. You're just in time, man. We are almost done boarding. We've been boarding for, 30 minutes? I like it. I kind of like this because that means the takeoff is going to be that much more fun because we're spending more time to set up. It means everything is going to be more important. That means the landing is going to be, we got to be on our A game. We need a full-blown clipper ship for serious long haul. There you go. Vega, welcome to the stream, man. Alex268, good to see you, man. Welcome on board. I don't know if VAL is going to support the Azobo 7.4, Captain Colorado, because I don't think American ever ran any Dash 8s. I know they never ran any Dash 8s, so I don't think that one is going to be a viable option for VAL. Is a 330 cockpit pretty much the same? AFO, it's similar, but there are some stark differences, specifically on the overhead. And actually, yeah, the cockpit is different on a 330. Now, there is a lot of similarities and a lot of the same systems, but there are differences. 330 has more fuel tank scenarios. It actually has an extra battery, I believe. The way the gear and auto brake and anti-skid setup looks a little bit different over here. This is an obvious difference here. You get rid of that over here, but it's, you know, you'll see when the Aerosoft 330 comes out. Speaking of, does anybody know what happened to the Aerosoft? I thought the last time I checked, I thought they were, you know, about to release like 2 weeks out, and that was probably a month ago, 2 months ago. What is the, do we have any update on that at all? All right, here we go. You guys let me know. We're about ready to push. Unpausing, V-pilot, 2 more people to go.
Southwest 2965 cleared at Phoenix via the Dodge 2 departures near
3, transition then as filed. Climb base
All right,
is
here we go.
5000, expects flight level 330, 5 minutes up to departure. Departure fixes offline, squawk 2035.
All right, we're at 159. Request push.
Read back correct. Expect runway 24 left for departure. Information Juliet is current. Push and start is at your discretion. Advise ready for taxi.
All ready for taxi, thank you. Southwest 255.
Flight attendants, our doors
Mexico
across
409. You ready to rock and roll?
Born ready.
Aero Mexico 409 Heavy. Wind calm. RNAV to Docker. Runway 25 right. Cleared for takeoff.
Pushback.
RNAV Docker, clear for takeoff, 25 right, Air Mexico 409.
I think he said call for push, but it's we're pretty much unrestricted here. I'll give him a call. Tower Mexicana 357, gate 159, ready to push and start.
Mexicana 357. Go ahead and push onto. Can you push on a Charlie south-facing west?
I don't think I can push on a Charlie. I think it's going to default us into the alley here.
You know, yeah, just go ahead and push onto the alleyway and advise ready for taxi for 357.
Roger, we'll give you a call ready to taxi Mexicana 357. That guy didn't say born ready with a Mexican like Aero Mexico, man. You got to have more of an accent. Got to at least try.
Runway 25 right, line up and wait.
They said they would give 2 weeks notice. They're busy on the Neo now.
Locking gear.
All right, they're doing their thing. Before start checklist, windows, doors, and slides, close and arm. Beacon on, thrust levers idle. Parking brake is on. Before start checklist is complete.
Have a good flight.
Off to meetings, so here's the early yoga, positive rate, and fly with. Tyson, you're the man. All right, nose left, tail right. Let's do it. Execute.
Release parking brakes.
Brakes released, clear to push.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
If every new airliner in the sim used the Phoenix EFB, that would be amazing. I find myself missing that EFB. Really, Matt? I actually prefer the flypad from Fly-by-Wire. That's another hot take for me. I want the 330 over the 777 from PMDG, and I prefer the current flypad version over the Phoenix EFB. I think the Phoenix EFB is kind of hard to not hard. It just seems more clunky, if that makes sense. All right, we're going to start them up. You guys ready? Let's do it. Engine mode selector to ignition start. And we're going to start number 1 first because it's an Airbus and we're going to do it properly. Turning 1. Ooh. That's because they're Canadian, man. Thermostrofol. Canadians do interesting things. Sounds like we got a good start on 1. Let's wait. There's the Avail light.
Enjoy the party. Exchange approved.
Look how badass this is. I love... Guys, this is making me want to, like, change my life decisions here and go fly 330s for a living. How cool is that? I mean, the 330, it looks nice. That is just sweet, man.
Set parking brake.
Brake set, clear disconnect, we're turning 2. Let's turn 2 from the outside, shall we? Turning 2, here we go.
Objective 909 Heavy, wind calm, RNAV to Docker, runway 25 right, cleared for takeoff.
Oh, I can't. I can't turn 2. I can't turn 2 from here because it's outside drone cam. Dang it.
Unlocking gear.
Because when you're in drone cam, it doesn't register button presses.
Facing north for runway 25 right.
I forgot to do the init B rip.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed. Left is clear. Right is clear.
Daniel, no, they don't need to because they're properly balanced, unlike the counterpart. Not saying that it's not possible to tip one on the tail, but generally speaking, no. All right, here we go. Oh, we're still starting. We're not quite there. Since I fixed that issue, not a problem anymore, Chaos? All right, good deal. Hopefully it'll work here. I'll do it after this one started. Matt, I don't know if you can hear the PTU in a 330, if I'm being completely honest with you. All right, that's there. We're going to go here. We're doing flap 1.
909 heavy, frequency change approved. Have a good one.
Right over to Unicom. Texas 99 Heavy. See ya.
Zoop!
Zoop.
Xander, good to see you, man. Everything's been good so far. We just pushed back, started up. We are good to go up top. Let's go APU. That's coming off. Let's go ahead and do our initialization. So I'm going to go here, here, boom. Everything is set down here.
Heavy, Windcom, RNAV, Docker, runway 25 right, clear.
Now this should populate to make me feel better. Yeah, look at that. 30 minutes extra gas. This is always kind of whacked out, but I don't know if I think we're going to be fine. Everything looks good, so last thing we need to do is our V-speeds. So we're doing a flap 1, Toga takeoff, 149, 151, 157. Now, who wants to do Toga from the outside view? We've got 347 watching. I'm going to need, let's make a percentage. I'm going to need 275 likes if you want to do a Toga takeoff from the outside view. If not, we're going to do it from the inside view, which is kind of lame, so don't be lame. Auto brakes max takeoff config is checked. We're going to do it right here at the gate just because it's kind of hard taxi anyway. Full up, full down, and neutral. Full left, full right, neutral, rudder, full left, full right, neutral. Boom. Oh, we did come down here. We got to do on, auto, and we're going to go auto, TARA.
Flight test, please prepare for takeoff.
Beautiful. You guys ready? Let's do this. Oh, cabin check. And we have information. What's the latest and greatest? It's still Juliet.
Hexagon 939, enjoy flight to Cabo, frequency change approved. See ya.
See ya. All right, here we go. LA Tower, Mexicana 357 off gate 159. We're in the Charlie 10 alley, ready taxi, Juliet.
Hexagon 357, runway 25 right, taxi via Charlie 10 Bravo.
25 right, Charlie 10 Bravo, Mexicana 357 heavy. 25 right, Charlie 10 Bravo. There's my shorthand for you.
RNAV to Doctor, runway 25 right, cleared for takeoff.
I'm going to just put our departure up here because I know where we're going. So LAX departure is full screen. Have that ready to go. We are all set. Are you guys ready? Let's roll. Taxi lights coming on, brakes released. Let's go to Cabo. 265. So if we get a takeoff clearance before 275 likes, we're just going to do it from inside view. Brake check. Pressure 0. Man. This is sweet. See, look, I'm already doing 10 knots on the ground speed, so you got to be, that's what I'm saying. It's really easy to go too fast in the sim when you're taxiing. So monitor that ground speed. It's even hard for me to read, so I imagine it's unreadable for y'all. But right now I'm at 8 knots. 276. You guys are awesome. Oh, look at that. All right, we're going to do it from the outside view. You guys are awesome. Thank you for the support, guys. Appreciate you. I think the like goal for the end of the stream is going to be 330 likes because we're in a 330. It's going to be a tough feat because that means all but 20 of you Ghost Watchers are going to have to like this video to get 330 before it's over. But that'll be the goal for today.
JetBlue 1570, enjoy your time in Cancun. Big change of route, see ya.
Brad K with the $5 super chat. My man, thank you so much. Yoga and chats, he says. Appreciate the $5, Brad K. Aaron Rodgers is going to take us to victory this year. Hope you're well, man. Thanks for the support. All right, we're rolling. Look at that JetBlue 321 over there. Nice. Look at that. I love this airport, man. JetBlue, got an LA Tower, everything looking good. All right. Oh yeah, we're already taking out taxiway lights. Rip. Just pulled an XP on there. We gotta come back to center line. Are you a Falcons fan now? Heck no, man. You can have Aaron Rodgers, you can have a victory. Pick one. Savage. This is the INI LAX Aviation Blaze. You are looking at the INI LAX. Look, see, I'm doing 14 knots right now. You wouldn't know that. So you just gotta be careful.
All right, last aircraft calling over to the landline. Taken.
He was on the landline. Got the construction out there.
JetBlue 1988, Los Angeles Towers, they're calling by standby.
Gotta come back. Love it, man. Absolutely love it. Jets. Jets. Brad K. Leroy with the €6 donation. Appreciate you, man. Just because, he says. Leroy, thank you for the support. Very kind of you, man. Appreciate that. Hope you enjoy the flight down to Cabo, my friend.
JetBlue 1988, LA Tower, clear in the middle of ice to copy. JetBlue 1988.
Charlie Romeo is on board. Good to see you, Charlie.
Airport. Ocean 1 departure, fuel transition, then as filed. Flying via aesthetics that maintain 5,000. Expect flight level 3305 minutes after departure. Departure frequency is...
Now, I don't know if we'll be able to make 39. See, this is where I wish I had a McDo cam. I could set up a little McDo cam, maybe like a small one, like over here, like right in this area. Because I would like to check my prog page, but I don't want to move my mouse and my view around. I want to see what my optimum flight level is right now.
JetBlue 1988, refactor is correct. Expect room and 25 right for departure information.
I got to catch up. You're at 300 doing Mach 8.5. Man, dial that thing back to 7.9 Mach, my friend. Dial that thing back to 7.9. If you guys are looking for a tiller, the promo is still going for a few more days. I think to the end of June, so actually for a couple more weeks. 20% off! Exclamation point tiller video if you want to see the video I did fully describing this tiller, because it's not just a regular piece of plastic there. It actually has some functionality. So exclamation point tiller video if you want to see it. Make sure you use code V1. I know a couple of you have already taken advantage of that, which is a good deal. And it's made by fellow pilots in Australia, where we're headed on our tour. So good deal. V1, I have a copyright on the McDo cam. The McDo. All right, Dougal. I see what you did there. Dougal. You can use your iPad to control the McDo. Yeah, yeah, but that's, I mean, yeah, you can, but or else I can have an actual McDo. We'll see. Good afternoon, Peyton. Good to see you, man. Trip was good. Timed out on day 3, so I just had to rode the jump seat home. But other than that, trip was good, minus the 5-hour delay we had on our third day. All right, let's go ahead and slow it up here. So now, there's actually a sign that says no turn until cleared for takeoff, because they don't want you like cockeyed right here. So we're actually going to come to a stop short of the run. Now, this is the only place that I can think of that has the sign out here. Matter of fact, I should see where it is and then have INI update it. I think it's like right here. but there's a little sign that says no turn until cleared for takeoff, because they don't want airplanes kind of like halfway here and in case they got to bring someone around this side. So you actually stop here, and I would assume this is what this line is for right here. Well, let's give this guy a call. Let him know we're ready to go. And tower, Mexicana 357, hold short 25 right, ready for departure.
Mexicana 357 heavy. Wind calm, RNAV Docker, runway 25 right, clear for takeoff.
RNAV Docker 25 right, clear for takeoff. Mexicana 357 heavy. All right, here we go. RNAV to Docker checked. Prog page is coming up. Optimum is 36. Let's do this. Oh, look at the sun peeking through the clouds. All right, now this is going to be a pretty tricky turn, so let's see if we can do it. I'm going to get my mouse wheel clicked so I can kind of use track IR-ish. Watch your speed. See, I'm at 8 knots. Let's go ahead and start rolling it in. Use a little differential thrust. Let that nose wheel turn over. Hold it to the stop.
Southwest 2965, LA altimeter 2990, runway 24 left, taxi via Echo 6.
24 left, taxi via Echo 6.
Same thing. Let's just roll with it here. We'll see if we can get a nice lineup.
JetBlue 1980, pushing Charlie tail facing west for runway 25 right.
Runway heading is 250. Checks. How do we do? A little bit of an overshoot. Not terrible, though. All right, we're clear for takeoff. Are you guys ready? Get those yogas in chat. Spool them up 50. Turn that chat blue. Here we go. Yoga. Oh, that was pretty sweet. All right, let's actually get in the center line here. Man, Toga SRS runway auto thrust is blue. Here we go. Thrust set.
And additional aircraft information, kilos now current.
100 knots, check. V1. Rotate. Positive rate. Gear up. Nav. Fly with. Watch your ears. Oh, yeah. That stutter in the cockpit, but it's smooth out here.
We flight to Cabo. Freaking stage cruise. See you later.
All right, we'll do that. Thanks for the ATC. Mexicana 357. See you.
My pleasure.
All right, there's a positive trend. Let's at least get the MCT thrust here. Thrust, climb, auto thrust. Since he gave us, since there's no more ATC, we're just going to go ahead and set I'm going to set 36 for now. And I'm going to pull for open. Thrust, climb, open, climb. Let's go flaps 0 after takeoff checklist. We're not going to be too... Oh, I forgot to disarm the spoilers. I'm not too worried about being exactly on the star right now because I want to enjoy some of these views. Look at these cloud formations out here, man. Beautiful. Wind's calm, and you can tell by the ocean because you get that reflection. I mean, that is next level stuff, man. If it was ripping, like the wind on the surface, which it wasn't, it was calm, you would be able to see that too, which is just so cool. All right, we're coming up here for another left turn for another bank angle check. Let's do another full shot right here. Oh, yeah. Must be, yeah, it's the LA. It's kind of hogging me down a little bit, but that looks awesome. Let's give ourselves a direct to. Direct to PV, insert. Breakout view over the nose. I don't think we need any ice, do we? What temp's nope, plus 22. No anti-ice required. Still warm enough. Love that subtle wing flex.
Right, taxi, get Bravo.
Man, absolutely love it. A little bit high on the pitch there. Let's come down about 7.5 degrees. Get right to that 250 knots.
Heavy, wind variable at 6 RNF, dock here, runway 25 right here for takeoff.
And we're on top already, just like that.
Southwest 2965.
We are on top. So is it 10 degrees? Yes, Ozzy. So plus 10, minus 10. That's a good window for Microsoft. Now, you know, it's a little bit more complex than that. I've talked about it before. But for Microsoft, plus 10, minus 10 in that window and your invisible moisture, go ahead and get that anti-ice on, dude. Absolutely. All right, here comes PV. We're getting ready to go through 10,000. A little bit S-turny on that, but I was just enjoying the wing views. So now let's fly this turn out here, and then we'll get the autopilot on and enjoy our flight to Cabo. There's 10K, so we're going to lower the nose. I'm going to set about 7.5 degrees, let it speed up here. Let's go ahead and get the rest of our lights off. Mini light panel when. Strobe light should have been on, so everything else is set. Forward call. Let them know we're out of sterile. Continue to lower that nose a little bit here. Here comes a bank angle check at PV. I like doing it from the outside view. Bank angle check to the left. Just so sexy, man. That airplane, this airplane. Something about the Neo motors just make it look more, maybe more proportional. I don't know. Something about the 339. Remember the early days when the freaking plane would ice up? Yeah, I do, Mr. Martini. All right, I'm going to bring the sounds down a little bit so I can hear myself think. As soon as we level out here in the turn, I'll get the autopilot on. We're going to go ahead and switch over to Unicom. 22.8 is up. Yeah, they're definitely bigger. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It makes it look more proportionate. All right, zoom out the range. We don't have to worry about any restrictions because there's no ATC, so we're just going to climb all the way up. I know we filed 39. We're going to double check our gross weight here. We'll roll it out. Autopilot 1. Full screen cam is back online. Let's take a look at our prog page. So optimum 36, max 392. I'm going to tell you right now, because the max is 39, theoretically we could make it to 390. However, I'm going to wait a little bit. So we're actually going to do 37. We're going to set 37 for now. And if LA Center was online, I'd say LA Center makes kind of 357. A little heavy for 390 today. We'd like to set 370 as a final. Next count of 357, Roger. I'll show 370 as your final. Climb and maintain 370. 370 is set. We're on the way up. We do need to catch up though, so let's go ahead and increase. We're going to select speed. We're going to do a manual climb out here because I don't think cost index works quite right in this. Somebody was telling me that. So we're going to do 310 selected speed. Airplane's going to level off here, reduce that AOA so we can get our speed up, and then the climb rate's going to pick back up. We do now. If you were on the SID, you'd want to make sure you're above 15,000 over at TAN, where it looks like we're going to make it anyway. Team Vodka. Oh, I know they're even better in person. The last one I saw was an Azul 330 Neo in Fort Lauderdale, and I taxied by it. I'm like, what is that? Because I didn't fully understand. I was like, that's a 330. Wait, that's a 330. What's with the engines? I'm like, wow. And Azul has a pretty sweet livery, so. A couple of them. All right. Set your cost index to 999. Let's try that. Oh, yeah, 14. We're not going to do that. So let's see. Manage 290.82, 310. So I'm still going a little bit faster than a 999, but That looks good. Man, airplane is flying good. Let's do a little wide body climb out view here. Back to the chat. Man, I love seeing that chat turn like blue when we go yoga. And then the flyweights. You guys are awesome. Appreciate you. Sorry if you ever type a message right when I say yoga, because that message just goes away. So, Steve N. I'm scrolling back here a little bit. Haven't tried this yet. Just downloading. Steve N. Use the pre-release version. Loving it. I think you're going to like it. Real quick, if you guys have a side stick set up, and maybe if you have, it doesn't matter which one you have, maybe you're probably going to want to adjust it. Now, before I get into side stick sensitivity settings, I'm going to briefly mention the Airbus, being fly-by-wire, has a set roll rate and load factor demand. So when you are putting an input on the side stick, it is a computer calculated reaction that is happening to the flight control surfaces. So I'm going to set standard set STDs for you, me, and Mike P across the board, looking good. So the 320 should, or the 330 should fly very similarly to the 330, because you're going to have a very similar reaction to the flight controls being commanded from, it's artificial, right? And the side sticks are going to feel pretty much exactly the same, if not exactly the same. So if you fly this airplane, you think, oh, it doesn't feel super heavy, it really, you shouldn't feel heaviness in your stick. What you should feel is inertia, or see inertia in your performance, whether that is slowing down or climbing, etc. As far as flight controls and flying the airplane by hand, it shouldn't feel all that much different from a regular 320. With that being said, I've left my roll sensitivity to pretty much straight linear, but I put a 75% reactivity setting on pitch. For some reason, with my specific setup, I'll show you again, with my specific setup here, this is a Thrustmaster Warthog base, which is a very good base in my opinion. Now, is it the most complex? No, you can actually get some more high-tech ones with the cams and stuff. But in my opinion, the pitch on this airplane, for some reason, it just seemed a little bit too sensitive. And even though it's using the fly-by-wire systems, I don't know if there's anything being lost in translation or whatnot, but it just felt to me like it was too sensitive. So I use 75% reactivity and pitch, and I use a -10 curve, so I reduce the sensitivity by -10 on both forward and aft pitch. And that to me seems more realistic to what I would expect the airplane to feel like. Now, I do have some questions about the actual flight model. Obviously, it's a freeware work in development and all that. And when I did maneuvers, I did some hand flying maneuvers with the bird on, trying to see my AOA in relation to airspeed. I have some questions, but obviously this is a work in progress project, and unless you're going up and doing maneuvers, probably not going to notice much of a difference. So that is my little spiel about the sensitivity settings. That's what I'm rocking, and I'm actually pretty happy with it. So we'll go with that for now. All right, this is just a nice climb out view. Let's go back to full screen cam here. Vodka, yours are 45 and roll 39? Really? That's a pretty hefty curve there, Team Vodka. Pretty hefty on the curve. Delta flies both the 339 and 350 in a Salt Lake. I really think the 339 looks so much better with the big engines. Yeah, the big engines are hard to beat, man. 350 looks so good when you fly in that again. Which one, Aaron? There's no 350 for, oh, X-Plane 12. Yeah, flight factor. Here's the thing. Flight factor in X-Plane 12 makes me not want to fly that sim. X-Plane 12 towless, yeah, I could do it. Just, the flight factor, it just left so much bad taste in my mouth. But I understand that the 350 looks better now. Maybe I should look into it. I don't know. Oh, maybe that's why, Vodka, because you're going 100% on the reactivity. Vodka, try mine, dude. Go 70 to 75% on reactivity with just 10% curves on pitch only. I really think the reactivity does more than the curves, because theoretically you want a linear response with your stick. Because if you pull aft to flare and you have a non-linear and you're right in that part where the curve swoops up steeper, it's going to feel more pitchy, if that makes sense. Or at least in my mind, that's how I would think it would react. So I use that reactivity heavily over the pitch or the sensitivity if I can. I'd be very curious to get a 330 pilot's perspective on how much different does it feel to hand fly as such as the rotation and the flare like a 321. And I say 321 because that's the biggest narrow body that I'm familiar with. But I mean, so I can feel, even though the fly-by-wire settings are exactly the same from a 19 to a 21, you can feel inertia in a 321. Like, you can see it in your performance, you can see it in your deceleration and your acceleration. But when I sit there and I manipulate the side stick, it feels the same as a 320 as a 319. What I see on my PFD is obviously not a 319 or a 320, it's a 321. That comes back to that inertia and the performance, power performance of the airplane. Could you do a 340 flight? Ooh, I do like that 340, man. Doesn't reactivity just add delay? That doesn't sound like something that would be good. Aaron, I do not know the scientifics behind reactivity. Maybe someone can specify. To me, when I do reactivity, it kind of changes the ends of the spectrum, I think, when you're looking at it in the settings. Charles, I'm using 75% reactivity and a -10 on the sensitivity on both pitch, forward and aft. Nothing. I don't use anything on roll. I personally think the roll feels decent. I think the roll feels good. But the pitch, 75% reactivity, and then that -10 on forward and aft pitch. When empty, the outer fuel tank valve is still open, feeding to inner fuel tanks. Is this normal? It opens and closes periodically. Yes, that is normal, Johan. I believe that's the same on the 340. It's not like the narrow body. So you'll see it feed down and then shut off, and feed down and shut off. Now, I know that is true on the 340. I don't know if that's true on the 330, but I would imagine it probably is. Oops. Look at our vibes, 2.6. All right, we're 80 Mach. What is our perf in the climb? So manage is 298.2. So we're still ahead of the game here. It's out of my way. When we get up to cruise altitude, I'm going to have a little bit of salad. Oh, look, this is what I love. Look. We are coming to the end of this clouded area. We know we're headed down south where it's clear in a million. There's not a cloud in the sky, and it's going to be 12 noon, so it's probably going to be the most ugly you can make Microsoft look. However, get back to that environmental world that you get, the living, breathing environmental world you get with Microsoft. This is all default. I can clearly see where we're going to be transitioning past a boundary layer here where the clouds are going to disappear, and it's going to be pretty much VFR all the way to the ground. And what I will do is I might even bump up my terrain LOD, because I cranked them down to like 160 there in Vegas, or sorry, in LA. So the terrain LOD factor, that is the #1 FPS impact you get on your sim. When I'm in LA streaming, when I don't stream, I don't have an issue, but when I'm streaming in LA, I turn that T-Law down to like 160, 150. But going into Cabo, man, we can crank it up to like 225, 200. Now I'm CPU limited, so, and when I'm streaming and I start cranking up that setting, it can start to become an issue. But once we get out over here, that's going to be the cool part, is there's really not much stuff for the sim to load, so we can crank up the loading. We'll do that when we get to cruise. We'll do that, and we'll also do a quick sensitivity check so you guys can see my settings. And I'm going to do that so I can screenshot it and then put it in the Discord for anybody who wants it. Charles Ryan, now for the fly-by-wire, I honestly don't think so. Charles, I think I have straight linear in the fly-by-wire. The Phoenix, I don't recall. I think it was the same. I think both fly-by-wire and Phoenix for me are straight linear. And yeah, I think those are both straight linear. Let's enjoy this little end view here. Get a second computer and capture card to stream. Be able to run the main computer at full juice. Felipe, I'm working on that, man. Oh, the extremity dead zone. There you go, Sandra. Okay. Chaos. I know I did like 14% curves, but I think I'm actually at linear now. Buckley, it will save settings per aircraft if you save a profile. Guys, remind me. These are great questions, and I'm going to, when we get to top of climb, I will actually go into the settings menu. I don't typically do that during stream, but I'm going to go into the settings menu, and I'll show you what to do about profiles, how to save them, so it will be specific to each airframe, and then we'll look at my settings again to make sure that I am telling you the correct info. Let's just get the top of climb first. We'll settle in, and then I'll do that. The best page is the best thing to do when you're in your settings is to create, different profiles every time you get an airplane. And what you can do, you make it easy. You just copy and duplicate the profile. And I'll show you how to do that here in a minute. Oh yeah, this is going to be juice as we come to the end of this. Peyton Courier, have I seen the BR Sim Designs Embraer 121A1? I have not. I don't think. Or have I? Is that the one Jonathan Beckett did? I'm looking it up right now. Hold on. Because I think I said I was going to get one of them. I think it was it. Yes, I have. Yes. Sorry, you threw me off when you gave me the 121A1. I was like, threw me off there. But yes, I have, Peyton. I'm going to be tweaking that to make it fly how I think it should fly as far as sensitivity goes. But yes, I really love the cockpit of that airplane. Oh man, this is going to be... Do we do cockpit view as we transition or wing view here as we transition over this boundary layer? David Sermon says, I pressed the call button and the attendant said that I'm too busy and don't have time to answer your call. When we land, I'm going to quit and write a letter to Flight Factory. Sounds good, David. David, good to see you. Hendrickson, High V1, how has Microsoft evolved compared to X-Plane 12? In your opinion, realism, flight dynamics, overall experience? I couldn't keep up recently. Great question, David Hendrickson. And, you know, depending on who you ask, you're probably going to get different answers. But I'm just going to tell it to you straight. I have no dog in the race by either sim. The reason, let me just back up. To answer your question directly, which one has developed more or evolved more? Definitely Microsoft. X-Plane 12 has had just a handful of updates since release. I think they need a lot more handfuls of updates to kind of really get that sim running nice and smooth. And I'm speaking from my personal rig. Now, everybody's system is different. Everybody's PC is different, so you may have a wonderful experience on X-Plane 12. Mine is still, it's just not what I expect from X-Plane 12. So as far as evolving since release, I think Microsoft is definitely ahead when it comes to there. When you start getting into the whole flight dynamics are kind of a confusing or complex topic to discuss. If you're just doing flights A to B, normal flying around, you are going to feel just as realistic and immersed in Microsoft as you will in X-Plane 12. Probably even more so because you're going to get the adaptive and live environment, which I was just hitting on there, that you fly in. Look at this. We just left a completely overcast, clouded out SoCal, and we're getting ready to go over the Baja, where it's going to be clear and a million. You see those clouds out there? Like they're disappearing. Look at that. And this is all default. So this brings into that realism part of your question, is the environment at which you fly in is a big part of realism. But if you still want to talk about flight dynamics, if you're doing abnormals, such as actually training V1 cuts, flying around single engine, looking at lift vectors and seeing drag and all that, that's where X-Plane 12 is ahead. And I mentioned it before, you know, every 6 months I go to Recurrent, I got to do sim, got to do line checks, all that. Before I go to my real world sim, I fire up X-Plane 12, I fire up the TOLUS, and we run profiles. We run the single engine stuff. We do the emergency V1 cuts. We do all that stuff in X-Plane 12, number one, because the state saving in the TOLUS is phenomenal, makes it very easy to jump around and actually study my personal airplane that I study in real life. But if you're going to just get in and have fun and you want to feel immersed without doing abnormals, I don't know how you could not think Microsoft is ahead there. And I say that with caution because I know there are a lot of add-ons in X-Plane 12. If you have those add-ons, then, all right, you know, if you have all your custom orthos, if you have Active Sky, if you have some shader mods, okay, now you're probably going to make a very enjoyable experience in X-Plane 12. But in my personal experience, I don't have the time for that. I don't want to make orthos. I don't want to download a bunch of extra programs. I just want the sim to fire up and look sweet. So that's why, but I know everybody's different. So my opinion is just like everybody else's, man. They're like buttholes. Everyone's got one, and they all stink. So take it for what you will. That's just my personal opinion on the two. All right, how are we looking here? I'm going to manage the speed up here. Ooh, it's going to drop us back a little bit. Tell you what, I'm going to select Mach. We're going to do an 8.2 climb out. Give us a little bit more juice. And let me just double check. 37,395. So you see here how my recommended max is slightly going up. The last time we checked was 392. So as we're burning fuel, we're getting lighter and our recommended max is going up. So we will eventually get to 390, but for the time being, we're going to just sit here and enjoy some juice view. Now I would do this view, but I don't really love the texturing out here. So I think when you put it in the window, it makes it a little bit more juicy. So we're going to do that view for now. Let me scroll back here. Gustavo, you had an answer there. According to my brother, the 330 is more slower to respond to all inputs, flare, ground, or normal law. The 350 is more like a light 319. Very interesting, Gustavo. But according to him, is even more sensitive than a light 319. That is very interesting, Gustavo. Thanks for the information. The 380, on his opinion, feels like a giant 320. But it's just the 320. The 350 has too much authority on all axes. That is very interesting, guys. Gustavo, thank you for that info. So 350 is the one that's seems to have a lot of sensitivity. But he said that the 330 feels like, I'm gonna go back here and read that. 330 is like a slower to respond. Okay. So maybe, I wonder if that has to do with obviously the time of design, right? That 330 has been out much longer than the 350. Maybe they've updated all their, I'm sure they've updated all their mechanics and how they built the airplane and flight dynamics increase. Jeremy, I did watch Mentor's Alaska 261 Runaway Stab. That video gave me chills, man. I've studied that accident in depth years ago. That happened in 2009. Was that 2009 or 2000? 2009. Had to be 2009. Yeah. That one is very sad. Those pilots, like he titled the video, were definitely absolute heroes, man. The fact that they didn't give up and they inverted the plane. I remember listening to the ATC, and you actually have another guy. LA was trying to call Alaska, and another pilot tuned in and said they're inverted. Like he's watching them invert the airplane. And, you know, obviously it's not meant to fly inverted, so that caused its own set of issues. But, you know, you talk about, I'm getting chills just talking about it, because I cannot imagine. I just can't imagine. It's hard to put myself like in that scenario, because I think like, man, physically, think of all the physical, just the effects on your body and how you're feeling, and to not be distracted, to not hesitate, and to constantly fly that airplane all the way to their death, essentially. That's something you teach in students, is like, do not give up. No matter what happens, you do not give up. You fly the airplane. You fly the airplane all the way to the crash. It's much better to fly into a crash than to, say, be stalled into a crash. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what's happening in your airplane. Fly it all the way to the ground. Just make sure you're flying it. And they did just that. It's wild, man. Absolutely wild. My brother has a hypothesis of responsiveness. Says the hydraulic system with 5,000 psi versus 3,000 on the 330. Very interesting, Gustavo. So we have more hydraulic pressure with the 350. Very, very interesting indeed, man. Thank you for getting that info, Gustavo. I appreciate that, man. Which one's his favorite to fly? Ask him what if he could only fly one heavy Airbus. Not the 350. If he can only fly one heavy for the rest of his career, what would he pick? I'm not sure if he was a fighter pilot. I don't recall. It was January 31st, 2000. Okay, it was. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, it was 2000 because they were still in the MD-80. A350 1000. Nice. All right, well, it's pretty sweet. A359 is close, but the 35K is even more quiet. Ah. Yeah, probably. I would imagine 350, 1000. Super quiet up front. All right, 1,000 feet to level off. We're going to level off here, and I'm probably actually going to use the lav, too. He picked a 7.3. Setting up X-Plane 12 has been a major headache, I will admit that. Yeah. Setting up any sim, though, man. Setting up any sim is going to be a headache, no doubt. Justin says, I use both sims. Since upgrading my PC, I can run X-Plane 12 quite well on lax graphics, and it's pretty good. Not 2020 quality, though. Probably never will. Even X-Plane doesn't eat up my limited data. Ah, see, and that's a very good point. If you have limited data plans, then Microsoft is really not going to be a good option for you. No way. So that's why, like I said, I mean, everybody's got their own system. Everyone has their own setup that they got to work with. Gustavo, yeah, quieter, faster, and futuristic systems. I had a 350 FO who used to fly whatever the first A350 to land in LAX was. He flew for that airline. It was some Chinese operator, and he was telling me, I was picking his brain the whole trip. I was like, tell me about this. And he was telling me like the dual engine flame out or whatever is basically the airplane does everything for you. Like gets the airplane, gets like a nearest airport ready to go. Yeah, I was picking his brain on the A350, no doubt. Wow, look at that terrain as we're about to fly over, guys. How sweet is that? ETA and overlay seems off. 1741Z right now. What is the ETA? Oh.
Flightdeck Captain speaking. We've just reached our cruising altitude for the flight. As we begin to settle in, I do want to remind you to please keep your feet and elbows clear from the aisle, as the flight attendants will be coming through the cabin with galley carts shortly. Also, one more reminder to please refrain from congregating near the front galley where the flight deck door is located. Thank you.
Fake pilots indeed. Wrong side sim in the house. Good to see you, wrong side, man. Hope work as well, man. I'm chilling out. I'm going to cook up some fajitas tonight, have a couple drinks, not think about work at all. How you doing, man? How's the flight wrapping up? It's good, man. It's doing good. Wrapping up in Detroit, waiting to fly back to Orlando. Been going for 25 hours. Dude, I'm hurting to say at least finally got to see a Neo engine up close. Wrong side, good to see you, man. Stick with it, dude. That's a long trip. Well, I look forward to seeing you come back and streaming, and I want to pick your brain on your little McDo situation you got down there. So hopefully you get some time off before I go back. I end up going back Friday night. So good to see you, wrong side. Keep everybody in line out there at work. Keep them in line, dude. Chaos, maybe it's... So 1911. So our ETA is 1911Z. Oh, you know what? I bet you it has an issue with time zones. Because 1911Z would be... Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's probably way off. Oh, well. I'll tell you right now. This says 1911, and it is 1743. So we're looking at a little under 2 hours. So 2 hours would be 1943. So really... hour and a half, actually. Hour and a half. Let's go ahead and turn the seatbelt sign off. This is what we're going to do. I am going to do a couple things. I'm going to put some tunes on. I'm going to run and use the lav because I've been drinking my coffee like crazy. And we come back, we're going to do flight control. I'm going to go into the settings real quick. I'm going to show you my flight control settings. And then I'm actually going to bump up my terrain distance drawing because, like I said, I cranked that down to like 150 or 160 for being in LAX with all those clouds. So we're going to do that as soon as I get back. Let me find some good tunes. Now, there was one song that I really was vibe. Oh, yeah, Perfect Espresso. I saved it because I don't know why I really like this song. I just love this song. So where do you guys want to sit? Well, since I'm going to give you guys control, we're going to keep you up front here. Let's go to like semi-jump view. All right, let me get this bank angle check here, or excuse me, this super chat. Aviation Blaze, appreciate you, man. A $5 super chat. Got to go throw some bags, but I'll catch you later. Aviation Blaze, my man, appreciate the support, dude. Very, very kind of you. Don't work too hard out there. Lift with your legs, not with your back. And thanks for working hard, man. Appreciate you. Thank you for the support. And we will talk to you on the next one. So, off for the next 3, thank God. Ooh, wrong side. You're off for the next 3? Well, I'm off for the next 3, so maybe we gotta have you on board here. Yeah. We're gonna talk, man. I'll send you a text. Alright, I really gotta take a leak, so I'll be right back. Could try changing caching too to see if it fixes stutter on camera change. Aaron, I might play with that off stream. Well, it doesn't seem to be really messing with us at cruise. Maybe it's just on the ground. I don't know. Oh, it's just displaying current time in Zulu. Very weird. Very weird. All right. You guys have control. Chat has the aircraft. Give you some tunes. I got to unlock my seat with my flip-flops here. I'm going to be right back, guys. Give me 2 minutes, and we're going to do some setting stuff when I get back here. You have the aircraft. All right, we're back. Oh, yeah. Is that music really loud or is it just me? All right. Turn the airplane all the way down. Let's go into settings real quick. If we had control, a fun game would be to make spurious changes? If you want to figure out what changed on his return.
I don't care what that other guy said. I think that the flight attendants are very friendly and top-notch. In fact, one of them has informed me that she forgot to pack her bikini and she wants to show me her Brazilian cat at my hotel later.
Seat 2A. Oh my goodness. I appreciate the $3 bank angle check. Hey man. I'm not even going to comment. Appreciate the support, dude. Yeah, if they are pretty nice, man. They are pretty nice. Nice flight attendants. I heard they're pretty nice on Azul as well. All right, let's look into the controls real quick here. Quick, someone turn off LNAV. All right, so control options. Here we go. I'm gonna actually pause the music real quick for this. Bum, bum, bum. All right, here we go. So here we go. Joystick Warthog. I made my own profile. What you need to do here, whatever profile you have, open preset manager, duplicate that, and you're good to go. My sensitivity settings are -10, -10, extremity dead zone 0, reactivity 70%. That's what my curve looks like. Screenshot that. Do it with it what you will. General options. Here we go. T-LOD. We're going to bump this up to 205. Apply and save. Go back. Resume. We're done. Rewind the stream. Pause it if you need it. And that way we have a little bit more juice as we go down into Cancun, or excuse me, Cabo, because it is kind of bland around there. Oh my goodness, that looks amazing though. So we're back at it. And let's get our tunes back on here. Yes. I'm going to do a quick hold at Oxoma so you can try to cut me off on the approach again. What's your, oh, I forgot to check my mock. I'll have to check my mock here next time we go inside, do a fuel hack. As I understand it, Headwind is working on a 330 cockpit. I understand that as well, Steven. I can't wait to see that. That'll be pretty sweet. Honestly, I mean, I love and want a cockpit too. Man, I wonder if they can release like the engine and wing textures first. Can we release it in pieces? Because I love having that engine view. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to secure my chair with my flip-flops here. That engine view just is too clean. Like we need nice new texture in there. It'd be sweet. I'm very curious to see how this airplane develops. Very, very curious. Do your profiles automatically switch? Jeremy, no. So that's the thing. So once you duplicate a profile, and so for the Airbus, whenever I reset up a new airplane, whether it's the Phoenix going to the fly-by-wire, etc., I duplicate what I have. That way I don't have to rebind everything. And then when you get in that airplane, you want to make sure you switch over your profiles manually. So for me, when the more peripherals you have, the more complex it becomes. So when I want to fly BAE 146, what I need to do is I go in there and I switch everything over to BAE 146 in the profiles. That way everything is immediately bound to the 146. My Honeycomb Bravo, my TCA yoke, the tiller switches profile. Actually, I think I keep the tiller on the same profile throughout. I use it for basically just views and steering, obviously. So tiller stays the same, but and then you can switch your profiles when you have them individually saved. Are you allowed to fly with flip-flops in real life? No, not in the 121 world. I shouldn't say you're not allowed to fly. Per our company standards, flip-flops are not acceptable footwear. And your feet would freeze. Exactly, Mike P. Your feet would freeze. That plate down there on the floor of the cockpit gets cold. That's why they have heat warmers or foot warmers. They don't work very well, and when they break, they in-op them. So, yeah, you might actually get frostbite. The scenery in the sim is still amazing. I wonder how well auto ortho works for X-Planes. Cyclone, I've been seeing guys do the auto ortho game. But I also wonder, like, at some point, what if you, like, run out of space? Or I feel like that could open up a can of worms. Unless that's what you download beforehand. I don't know. Yeah, Digital Mark, the number one tip for sure when using different peripherals. I cannot stress that enough, guys, is use profiles. Uh-oh, looks like we're entering some turbulence here. Ooh, a little bit of a thermal. A little bit of a thermal situation. Let's check our prog. 397. So I want to see this go to 398 before I go to 39,000 feet. But we'll bump up the speed manually here. We'll do 8.3. We're going to burn off a little bit more gas. Burn off a little bit more gas. I don't know. I was vibing with this other view here. This view is so beautiful. Gosh, I love this airplane. Some light chop. Dinner here, so AFK for a while. Dougal, I wish I could join you. I should bust out my salad right now. Have a good dinner, my friend. Oh no. Oh no.
Part of the dream. I was scuba diving with V1 and Team Vodka. No idea what that means, but if Team 5 and 1 were together, pretty sure we were scuba diving in alcohol. Part 2 to come.
Mike P. Thank you for the $10 bank angle check. God, I'm gonna have to have like a proofreader on my Streamlabs, because who knows what y'all are gonna bank angle check to me. Never know when that thing goes up, Mike P. I'm interested to see what part 2 says, my friend. You and Team Vodka were scuba diving in some alcohol. Very interesting. Seems plausible. Definitely seems plausible. Just hearing y'all chat in the Discord, get you two in the same room together. God help us. You're gonna need a long overnight to wear that stuff off. Thank you for the $10 super chat. Appreciate it. Or bank angle check, man. So I must need to do a profile before loading an airplane. Jeremy, you can change them mid-flight. You can change them whenever, but I will change the profile before loading in. That way I don't have to go back to the menu screen. But you can do it, obviously, in flight. You can do it on the ground. Whenever you change it, it'll just switch over. So it won't affect your sim at all. AJ says Delta reporting light chop. Yeah. Light chop. That would have been moderate turbulence if we were a Delta crew. Can you please show the correct pilot setting in the cockpit? I never get comfortable with every time I fly, and I adjust my view every time. Giuliandi Raimondi, it's kind of a joke for Airbus pilots. When you're on final approach, if you're ever in the jump seat, like you'll hear the pilots switch their seats around about 27 times because we're always trying to get a perfect seat. This one seems pretty accurate right here. Now it's hard to do because this is not 100% accurate, right? Or is it? I feel like I'd be sitting up a little bit more. But this view right here is pretty realistic. In cruise, however, this is where you're going to catch me. My seat's going to be all the way back, stretched out, might have the tray table open. You know, reading some company material, looking at my company charts, looking at company memos. This is my view right here in cruise. Coming into land, though, yeah, and the way I do it, I kind of center myself on the seat here in the sim. I think right about here, actually, a little bit higher. So in the real airplane, you see this light bar? I'm going to zoom in on it. This light bar right here is going straight across. And I typically put it so when I'm sitting in my seat, that light bar is resting perfectly on top of this bar right here on top of the screens. And that coincides with this up here. So we use this in real life to kind of get your seat in the right spot, and then I kind of use this for height adjustment. But it is important. It is important to make sure you have proper seat adjustment, because if you don't, you can really chunk it on there, which I did in a 321 in Atlanta. So it's hard to get a perfect seat in the sim. Trust me, you just kind of have to fiddle with it. Good day, everyone. Miggs is in the house. Miggs, good to see you, my friend. Sweet livery there, Captain. How's she flying today? Miggs, she's doing a beautiful job. I love this airplane, man. I'm loving this airplane. I don't know what it is. I'm so glad I listened to y'all, because I would have had no idea that there was a 330neo even in the sim. It's all about staring at the balls. Oh my god. Yes. Yeah, you got those balls in the cockpit for your seat alignment. To be clear, he's not wrong. Look at that shot. Oh, AJ. Oh yeah, I already answered that one. But I hope that answers your question a little bit, Giuliani. You kind of got to fidget with it. The number one problem I see is guys with their seats too high. Then you can kind of misjudge that flare, and you can misjudge where you're sitting, or you misjudge where the airplane's wheels are when you come down and flare, and you chunk it on there. Make sure Google Drive has enough space. Oh, yeah. Uh-oh, do I need to clear my Google Drive out, Jeremy? I'll make sure it's cleared out. What about socks with sandals, the standard uniform? Man, I wish this livery... Did we answer that in chat in the beginning of the stream? Is COVID shut this airline down, right? Is that when they stopped operating? That just looks beautiful. If we follow up staring at the balls with barely legal, the stream YouTube's going to give us a number to copy. Yes, it is, Miggs. Yes, it is. Thank you for bringing us that direction. More King Air Ops soon. Maybe tomorrow. Peyton, I don't know about King Air Ops yet, but they will be coming. So the thing with this little mini Mexico tour that we're doing here is a lot of these Mexican airlines had yoke-driven aircraft. There's only a handful that run the bus. I know we got Interjet and Viva. Interjet Viva, and then what's the other one? The one with the black tail, Volatus. So we're going to be firing up some yoke-driven aircraft here. I'm thinking we might do... I kind of want to do another Airbus stream tomorrow, but Cabo is a good spot to get us to Mexico City. I might fire up the Mad Dog. We might have to dust off the yokes and do some Mad Dog ops. Mexico City, do some flights in and out of there. And then I need to find an Air Cancun livery. I don't think it exists, but the 310 had Air Cancun. I didn't know that. Can't believe I didn't even know that airline was a thing. But I do want to fire up the Saab as well. Or not the Saab. What is it? The ATR. But we probably could fire up some King Air, like Mexican Air Force scenario. Oh, Mexicana died 10 years ago? Really? Okay. I can't believe it's been that long. Wow. RC Flyer, thanks for the great stream. Take it easy, man. Got to go buy a microwave with the wife. Have a great flight and check the replay later. RC Flyer, if you're still here, skip the microwave. Get an air fryer, man. Get an air fryer. Get an air fryer. Get an air fryer. You can get one that does microwavable things, too. But we cooked brownies in the air fryer the other night. Air fryers are amazing. Wish you luck, man. Thanks for stopping by. Juliana, thank you, Captain. I think that answers why I always adjust my seating every time, especially during final approach. Yeah. You're not the only one, Juliana. I know, I like the baby blue engines too, FaZe. Mexicana season 2010. Man. Alright. Alright, so now we're going down the, the Baja Peninsula. And we're going to get ready to go buy some great white sharks. These waters are... This is all like great white shark breeding ground up here, y'all. Flew the ATR from Calvi to Marseille the other day. It was actually pretty nice. Yeah. Maybe we'll be in the ATR tomorrow. I'm going to... Whatever the airplane is, I'm going to post a vote for the commercial pilots who seem to just like troll me and try to make it 50-50 every single time. So there will be a vote coming for the next aircraft unless I override it and want to do another Airbus flight tomorrow. We could either be fly-by-wire or we could do... I'll have to see. I'll have to see what other airports are kind of around there. I would like to fire up turboprop. F-28 Fokker, AFN, I watched that. I love it. I cannot wait for that airplane. Just Flight, hit me up, man. BAE 146 got an update? Another one? I love the 146, too. We're going to have to fire up the yoke. Puerto Vallarta? Oh, yeah, we're going to hit up Puerto Vallarta. Ooh, the Transall? Bone King, maybe. I do love that water for a week with hail bop in the sky. Yeah. Good afternoon. Caco's here from San Juan. Hey, dude, I was just there heading back to JFK at 5 p.m. Caco. I did San Juan, Chicago the other day. Dude. All right, this is Christie's song. Hold on. This is not very, let me find, I know I have some Latin music saved in here. Here we go. Let's get some Latin beats. Cacao, so I did San Juan to Chicago the other day with a freaking 80 knot headwind. I'm just not a long haul pilot, man. But stay safe, be safe out over the waters. Hopefully there's no weather out there for you today. We were doing all kinds of deviations and HF and... So, I have a question for you, Cacao. If you're on waters and you're doing an offset for weather and you're going to fly by a reporting point, a compulsory reporting point, but you're not actually going to fly over it because you're going to be abeam it, do you still report it? Do you report a beam? Because I didn't, and then they cell called us. And I'm like, oh, I thought I was going to report Kazar when we get back en route. Oh, well. Did you ever want to fly the Saab in real life? Jeremy, no, I had friends that flew the Saab, but I'm kind of impartial to it. I don't really, either here nor there. I loved flying it in X-Plane. I thought it was a great little bird in X-Plane. Ooh, Migs, that's a good idea. King Air local to a regional airport, then ATR to international hub. Yeah, that's what we're going to do, Migs. Can we see the flight map? Let's do it. Let's see where we are. So let's pull up. Can we do, is it reference? Class B, from to alternate. Can I see a map anywhere in here? You guys tell me. OFP overview. So overview? Nope. Oh wow, look at this info. Navigation and charts. Cactus Regional had SOBs. Yeah, the SOBs are flying for a long time, man. I saw SOBs in Boston, Penn Air. This was years ago, but I pulled up to a gate and there was Penn Air operating SOBs. Tyson, welcome back, man. I still dust off XP11 for that SOB. See, and Digital Merc, you guys tell me where can I find a map in here? So you bring up the X-Plane 11. And I honestly, if I didn't get rid of mine, thinking X-Plane 12 was going to be the end-all be-all, I probably would have been flying X-Plane 11 some more, just because it was all set up, right? You had all, at least I had all my add-ons, all the ortho, all that stuff. And then when I switched to 12, I think I might have tossed 11 too quickly, because I probably would still do some flights in 11, because 11 was looking good, running good. But it is what it is. Is there no way to get a map up here? I guess there's not. Let's look at Cabos. Here we go, and Nico. So one of these islands out here is Guadalupe Island. If you have Navigator plug-in, you can open it to see the live route. Let me see. Oh, I do. You mean this one? I don't know if it's synced. I'm gonna have to do this here real quick. Oh, no, there we go. Hey, let's unload this one. Import flight from SimBrief. This one here. Let's see where we are, and I want to look at the VFR map. So we are. What is this? Is this? What if I do world map? Let's hide that. It doesn't tell you what these islands are out here. But I know for a fact this is like great white breeding grounds out here. San Bruno. What are we coming up on? We're coming up on Imusu, which is right here. So I guess this would be San Marcos Island. Oh, isn't that where I think that was the greatest, or like the largest great white shark was spotted off Marcos Island. Was a pregnant white shark. So that's going to be right out our left wing. So do not ditch out there. Captain, how is the summer flying season going? Full planes, weather, all good? Cody, yeah, so far so good. Weather's been kind of a pain. I've been getting caught up in a lot of storms lately. So other than that, everything else has been pretty decent. Everyone's been behaving. If you had the options in real life, would you prefer doing one long haul or 5 short medium hops? See, that's the age-old question, man. The day goes by much faster. I don't know about 5 legs. And how long is a long haul? So I would rather do 3 90-minute legs than a 4-hour flight. I'd rather do 3 90-minuters. But anything more than that, I don't know. Then you just start to get wore out. Cacao has, yes, I would report a beam the compulsory fix with the offset. Almost all of our planes have been outfitted with CPO DLC now, so not a lot of reporting lately. Yeah, I know, it's because you got all fancy. But, yeah, I guess I missed that one. Well, okay, so I would have said that. I would agree with you, Cacao. However, my clearance was report. So It was report Kazar, which was our fix where we were going to rejoin from the offset. So because I was told to report Kazar, I didn't think I had to do the other one that I flew a beam. So, oh well, I guess I just messed it up. You like those long hauls. Jet Kid, yeah. The Majestic Q400 in Microsoft would be sweet. How we doing on the likes out here? Did you guys... We already crushed 330 likes. You guys are awesome. Thank you for that. Smashed our like goal already. All right. Zoom it on out there. TOD is about 240 miles away. Let's come down and take a look at our prog. Oop, there's 399. So, let's go ahead and up it. 390. Let's go. Thrust climb, open climb, and we should have new cruise altitude. 390 is set. We're going all the way up to 390. Optimum was 37, but let's take it up to 39. We'll get up. Maybe we'll get above this little layer here. Ooh, a little high altitude layer. Gonna eclipse this little high altitude layer here. We had almost 400 viewers at takeoff. Really, Chaos. Nice. Thank you guys for that. That's all you guys helping me out with the like button. That's what that is. Appreciate y'all. Lately, my ass and tailbone hurts after 3 hours. Got to sit all the way back in the seat. Might have to start bringing a rubber donut with me. Oh no! Don't start bringing the rubber donut. I'm actually sitting on one right now. Yeah, it starts to hurt, man. Some airplanes I get in, I feel like the seat has just been wore out. Some are much nicer. Long haul is across the pond. Oh, Giuliani. Yeah, I would much rather do a 90 to 120 minute, like a 90 to 2 hours. Unless, I mean, I don't know. 8 hours in an airplane, dude. I've done 8. I've done 7.5. And yeah, I know you're not in a wide body and all that, but dude, it's still a long time to be in an airplane. Like, it is a long time. So, the day goes by much faster, you know, when you're doing little hops up and down. What times are short haul, long haul that makes a difference? If it's a long haul, you catch a good nap. Yeah. What times are they? Yeah, that's a big one too. Mixed. Yeah, the schedule is complex because it depends on, you know, do you have gentlemanly hours or do you have not gentlemanly hours? Are you doing a red eye? Like, typically you start getting into long haul stuff, you're probably doing a red eye. You're probably flying through the night. You know, there's a high likelihood of that, which I try to avoid at all costs. I've worked with a guy who was notorious for calling maintenance and making them swap the cushion. Dude, that is awesome. I'm going to do that next time. I'm telling you, man, it's awful. It's not cool. Ooh, here, see, look at this. We're getting into this high, like, alto cirrus layer of cloud. Look at this. And we're getting a little bit of chop as we climb through this here. Oh, we're open climb. Let's go ahead and get the seatbelt sign on. We're getting a little bit of chop. Maybe we should have stayed at 37. But as we go through this little alto cirrus layer here, a little bit of chop in the climb. Hopefully 39 will be above it. We'll have to see. You do end up visiting a lot of countries, Chaos, or you just keep visiting the same one. Depends. That's what I'm saying. Scheduling is complex. You can't just say, oh, I want to do long hauls. Like, all right, I'll do a long haul from like 8 a.m. to, 6 p.m.? Is that 10 hours? Yeah, 10 hours. I'll do a long haul from 8 to 6, and I want to go to a new place every time, and I want to be in a 340-600. Sure, sign me up. But if I got to get up at 10 p.m., fly through the night, go to Heathrow, 24 hours or 36, whatever it is, and then turn around and do a red eye back, no thank you. No, thank you. Like, I'm sure London is nice and all, but I like my life. I want to live past 65. would going through this Alto Cirrus be a reason to turn on the wing anti-ice? No, Migs, because it's going to be too cold, most likely at 39,000 feet. Yeah, we are negative 58 on the SAT, so we are well above that. Minus 40, this is where I say, the plus 10, minus 10 is our rule of thumb. However, when you start talking about high altitude, it gets a little bit more complicated than that. So minus 40 on the SAT is kind of a limit for us. So minus 40 on the SAT. Anything colder than that, it's going to be too cold to turn on any engine anti-ice when you start getting high altitude stuff. Now on the descent, however, if it is minus 40 or warmer, then you're going to want to turn it on because you're going to be warming up as you descend. So it's better just have it on if you're in visible moisture. So, but up here, no, it's way too cold. In fact, we should probably be monitoring our fuel temps, which are not modeled yet. But you start reaching minus 59, we probably need to start monitoring our fuel temperatures, make sure they're staying where they need to be at. So looks like we're going to be right in the top. I'm going to set 8.4. Looks like a smoothing out here. What is our MIF 399? What is the service ceiling of a 330-900? I'm actually kind of curious. Long haul, San Juan to O'Hare. No, see, Tyson, that's what I did. That's what I did, man. It's long. That was a long time, dude. That was in a 319 too. I actually did. Yeah. Statui, a $50 super chat. Por fin vimos V1 in Mexico. Statui, appreciate that, man. Yes, indeed. At last in Mexico, we are, Statui. I think that's what that means, right? Appreciate that massive $50 super chat. Positive rates. Right back at you, Satui. Very, very kind of you, man. Thank you for that monster super chat. Appreciate you. I hope you enjoy our little Mexico tour. Man, maybe we should have went back down to 37 because we just killed our views up here. I think we just killed our views. Why did we do that? We're Al Cruz, 8.4 Mach. Here we go. But Statui, you're the man. Appreciate you. Let's circle back to our conversation. We were talking about the live, living, breathing environment. When's the last time you saw a cloud like this in X-Plane 12? And this is a no add-on. We went from overcast cumulus-style clouds in LA to severe clear, not a cloud in the sky, to getting up into like an Alto Cirrus layer up here, and now we've just torched our views, and we're probably going to go back down to 37. So, and it looks like we're right on top, and we're nice and smooth. I think it's going to be smooth here. We'll go ahead and turn that seatbelt sign off yet again. Oh, I still have the dome light on. We'll turn that off too. But yeah, now we're up here at 39. But just, I mean, I'm talking about the living environment that this sim brings me. That I think should account for your quote unquote realism heavier than just necessarily flight model. You really gotta factor that in there. Look at that AOA we have on our wings. I can see we got a positive AOA. What are we cruising at? 2.5 degrees? Well, we're not over max, so recommended max is 40. We're at 39. 1,000-foot buffer. What's our fuel flow up here? Look at that, 6,300 pounds a side. I don't know how accurate that is, but that's not that much for this airplane, doing 8.4 Mach. So, loving it. Let's go to a little outside view. Oh, there's a ortho line there. Let's do this view here. Ooh, we're conning now. We're in the cons. Beautiful. 410 is the service ceiling. Good deal. So we're getting close. Now that narrow body long hauls are getting more popular, do you think you'll ever get to do one? Yes, Randy, I'm sure I will. What is your definition of long haul? It depends what everyone's definition of long haul is. For me, a long haul is anything over 5 hours. 4 is a long time, but I think over 5 hours, I would consider that a long haul. Now that's just my narrow-minded, narrow-body self, but 5 hours is a long time being an airplane, dude. How often do you use asymmetric engine power on takeoff? How do you calculate? What do you mean use asymmetric? We don't use any asymmetric engine power on takeoff. You want to make sure you're symmetric. That is why, so this is a great topic. Why do we bring the engines on any airplane, on any jet, do you stabilize them prior to takeoff thrust? Sometimes we use 50% in the bus. I think some Boeings use 40%. Doesn't matter what your percentage is, but why do we want to do that? That's not just for show. It's not just for making it sound cool. There is an actual reason why we use a stability setting before takeoff thrust. What do you call over 15 hours? Ultra long haul. Something that I never want to do. Noxana, it's possible to go above the ceiling. It is. But there's a reason it's there, and you probably won't come back down in one piece. And if you do, you're probably going to have issues. Exactly. Tyson's got it. To prevent asymmetric thrust as the engine spool. So as you get to that takeoff thrust setting, that is your maximum thrust. Now, I say maximum in quotes because you could be flexing your takeoff or derating your takeoff. But when you go to takeoff power, whatever that is, you are creating a lot of thrust, the most thrust you're going to be able to create in that scenario. So if you were to have an asymmetric thrust situation go down when you're having max thrust, you may end up having some controllability issues with the airplane. Therefore, we want to spool them up to 50% to make sure everything is symmetric and then go to takeoff, because at least you know you have 50% on the other side. If you just went from 0 to hero, from idle to toga, and one lagged at 30, 20%, you're going to be having some issues. So get them up to 50, and let's say you go from 50 and one of them hangs at 70, which, depending on the engine, there's actually procedures in place to remove that, or it's designed so it doesn't symmetrically come up. It's going to be a less of effect on the airplane having one at 50 and one at 100, as opposed to one at 20 and one at 100. So once you're at 50, you've got some control. So that is a big reason why we spool the engines, to make sure they're stable, and then you have a nice symmetric power up. Now with the IAE V2500 and with other engines as well, there is a keep out zone. And I believe that keep out zone, oh my gosh, now we're digging into the book. It's somewhere between 60 and 74%. And at that spot, the engines are not going to actually spool up symmetric. And there is an accelerated spool up time through there, and that is to prevent any asymmetric thrust from happening as well. So you combine that with setting them at your takeoff thrust at 50 or 40% initially, and then boom, getting into the takeoff setting, you're good to go, you're protected. And it's also just better from a mechanical standpoint. It's always better to kind of ease into something, right? So asymmetric thrust aside, if you were to just think going from idle to toga with no difference. Now the FADEC is really what came into play and has taken over that, and so it doesn't really matter. But engines before FADEC, also a big deal from just going 0 to 100. You get compressor stalls, you get wear and tear, you get all kinds of issues. So introduce FADEC, you do FADEC plus staging your takeoff thrust, you're really protecting and you're really saving your engine life. Over 15 hours is hell. Agreed. Extra long haul. Laminar says they're fixing clouds in the next update, 12.06. Curious to see how, hey, I think it's well needed, Giuliani. So I really hope we see some good clouds in X-Plane 12, because that is a huge deterrent as well for me visually speaking. I've seen some streams in X-Plane 12. I'm just like, what is that cloud? I mean, you get those wall clouds that just, it's 100% an immersion killer. Like it's almost like taxiing on the ground with rudder pedals in a jet. Exclamation point tiller, 20% off, get yourself a tiller. Shameless plug. But for me, that was a huge immersion killer. Like, you don't taxi jets on the ground with rudder pedals. You don't see wall clouds at 50,000 feet surrounded by just a flat blanket. Like it's an immersion killer for me. So, and which is something that can be fixed. Very easy for them. I shouldn't say very easy, but they've obviously come leaps and bounds from where clouds used to be. So, yeah, I think if they get a nice cloud update, I think you're probably going to see multiple people start hopping back in that sim. Ooh, Shaq is back. Yeah, my silence on your answer, Kevin, yes, because I was trying to avoid profanities. But I like Catco's answer of just it being hell. Shaq is back. Say you're number one at the company. I will be. Picks are yours to pick. What is your dream pick? Well, Shaq, that is very dependent on what airline you work for. I've said it before. If I could have my way, I would take an A340-600. Give me my Atlanta-Cleveland turns in an A340-600. About an hour and a half up, a little under back down. That's my dream right there. I'll do a Newark turn. Atlanta to Newark, A340-600 and back. That would be sweet. Now, realistically speaking, number one, what am I picking? Completely honest with you, man. I'm picking the one that is the easiest on my body and provides me the most time at home with my kids. So I want efficient trips. I want trips where I go in. I want to work 8-hour day trips, because then you only have to do a few of those if you post to just a 5-hour day trip. So I'm going to pick the most efficient, the most gentlemanly houred trips, and the ones that are high credit, which allows me to have maximum credit and have maximum days off. That's the goal. Got to warm it up in a bit, like all things in life. Exactly, Chaos. Got to warm it up, man. Long hauls are great for working from home. Takeoff beginning of the day, land at the end. Problem is timing when the landing will be. Exactly. We're always told that takeoff and landing are most critical moments of flight, but since simming and seeing that small window between overspeed and stall, you don't want much to go wrong up there. Scotty, exactly. Now, critical phase of flight is something you could really pretty much label anything below 10,000 a critical phase of flight just because of time, right? When you start running out of altitude, you start running out of time. So as you get lower to the ground, things definitely become more critical. It doesn't matter what they are. You could be landing, you could be taking off, you could be troubleshooting something at 5,000 feet. And go back, we touched on it, that Alaska, not 559, gosh, what's the number? The one that was inverted. When they were doing their control checks and configuration check, FO was like, hey, let's stay up higher when we do this. You know why? Because you have more time if something goes wrong. So you have a lot of time if something goes wrong up at 39, 40,000 feet, depending on what it is, unless it's an explosive decompression, then you really don't have a lot of time at all as far as being conscious. But once you get your oxygen mask on, you now have time to figure out what you're doing. What was that 330 that ran out of fuel because they couldn't calculate freedom units to the rest of the world units? And they landed on that little island, dual engine flame out, 40,000 feet. They're like, okay, well, I got 30 minutes until we hit the ground. So you have a half an hour to figure things out. So is it still a critical emergency scenario? Yes. But I would much rather have a dual engine flame out at 40,000 feet than I would at 4,000 feet. 261, thank you. So V1 is basically saying he wants the Santo Domingo red eyes. No. No, thank you. Atlanta, Cleveland, and a 340. Thank you for flying bankrupt there. Exactly, Shaq. Exactly, dude. Exactly. I spent 6.5 hours in a 737 MAX, Mexico City to Vancouver. I'd only ever do it again because we flew over the Grand Canyon. Of course, I was napping at that time. Of course, Migs. See, that's a long time for that crew to be in the 737. Look. Mad respect for the Boeing drivers out there, because you cannot tell me you're comfortable, even if it's a wonderful MAX 9. You're not comfortable up there. After 3 hours, after 2 hours, I'd put my seat all the way back, get the tray table out, put my feet up. Airbus has got it going on. Airbus has got it going on from creature comfort standpoint. I did, Ketco. The Gimli glider, another one, yeah. But that wasn't the one I was referring to, Johan. So there was I think it was a 330. They ran out of fuel over the water, and they landed on a little island. They calculated their descent. I mean, it is a phenomenal scenario if you look into it. Someone probably has the engines or has the information in chat. But yeah, it was the three. Was it Air France? Maybe it was Air France. Yeah, the Gimli glider was a 7.6. Same scenario. They ran out of fuel because they didn't do the freedom unit to rest of the world unit conversion correctly. But also, same deal. They glided it down. But they also had to slip it. He had to slip that airplane down, which, that's a testament to his flying abilities. But the guys in the Airbus, they didn't even slip it. They timed it. They calculated it almost perfectly. Oh, it was Air Transat. Thank you. Air Transat. Landed in the Azores. Yep. JFK to Seattle on a 321. Crazy headwinds on February. It took us 6 hours. Yep. So my first flight, let me see where we are approaching top of descent. We only got 80 miles. We got to start doing some work here. So let's enjoy some more views. We'll do some wing views on descent. We'll keep enjoying these views here. I do like this top-down view right here. Or the head-on view is pretty sweet. That's pretty badass right there. So, my first ever flight in the Airbus. I came from a regional. I was like, all right, I'm on the Airbus now. Cool deal. I was in a 319, old one. And it was basically a red-eye. I mean, I say basically, it was technically a red-eye. So, it was Miami to LA, middle of the wintertime. I was living in DFW, so I had to commute to Miami, commuted out, South Florida. So I've been up since it's my first ever flight on OE, I'm sure as hell going to be there early. So I get up, I take like an earlier flight than the regular. I think our show time was around 8 or 9 p.m. Maybe it was closer to 10 p.m. So we were going to leave Florida at 10 p.m., fly all the way to LA. And by the time you land, your body clock is like, 3 or 4 in the morning, but it's really only midnight or something in California because of the time change. So technically, it kind of is a red eye because your body clock goes into the WACL, or the window of circadian low. The winds at cruise were excess of 200 knots sustained the entire flight. We blocked 7.2, I think. Full tanks. Pretty much full fuel out of Miami. 7 hours later, we're landing in LA, and the captain was flying. I was on OE, and I'm like, I just remember thinking, thank God the captain is flying this because we're on final, and my body was, number one, not used to the time change and was not used to sitting in an airplane for that long. And you stay up there at, I forget, I think we probably went at like 38 or west is even, so 38,000 feet for that long. And cabin altitude being higher into 319 is very fatiguing. And my body not being ready for it, I'm just like, this is hard. And that was my first experience in an Airbus. I'm like, good thing I didn't have to do that. And in fact, JetBlue had to divert because they didn't have enough fuel. Planes were diverting because the winds were so strong they didn't have enough gas. So even trying to plan for it. But that was my first ever experience in Airbus, was over 7 hours of block time. ASMR. Uh-oh. Oh, yeah. Was I drinking water in the mic? My bad. The captain of the Air Transat flight visited my business a few years ago. Really? That's awesome, man. 305, where you grew up? Good deal, man. So, yeah, Robinson, I can see that. JFK, Seattle, 321, 6 hours. Yep. Very, very likely. Yeah, really getting your money's worth on that first one. Yeah, when you do OE, or initial operating experience, you're supposed to do additional things in cruise. You're supposed to, the captain asks you questions and you respond. You're studying. That is what IOE is. That is what initial operating experience is. And even after like halfway, he said, hey, we're not going to do any more because I know your brain is going to be completely fried. I just remember short final on LA. We were landing 2-4. We were going over the in and out. And I just remember thinking, man, I'm sure glad he's flying right now because if something went wrong, I'm so foggy-brained that it's it's not awesome. But that is why they pair you. That's why a green, called a green FO, is paired with more seasoned captains because they are more capable. They're more experienced. They're just more experienced in handling stuff that could come up. And because you have more experience, you can handle more workload. And if you have an FO that doesn't have a lot of experience, his workload is not going to be very much. They're going to become task saturated much quicker than someone who is extremely seasoned and has a lot of experience. So that's why you don't want to fly green on green. You don't want a green captain on a green FO. We call that green on green. So a lot of airlines will prevent that. So you got to have at least over 100 hours. So when you upgrade to captain, you got to have at least 100 hours in the left seat before you can fly with a new higher FO who has less than 100 hours. We are landing 3-4. All right, guys, we're getting ready to top a descent here. Mike Sierra Delta is on the way. Look at our nice tailwind, 77 knots. This was a beautiful flight today. Beautiful flight down here. Let's go back outside. There's an island. That just looks like there's sharks down there. Just looks like there's sharks down there. So you're saying you get punished for experience? Yes, Chaos. That's a good way to put it. Sounds like Intel 145s are right up your alley, up and down every day with weekends off. Yeah, no, I don't want to go back to the 145, though. I don't want to do that. Is cabin altitude set differently on Boeing compared to Airbus? I do love both, to be honest, but always felt much better after a long haul on Airbus compared to Boeing. Scotty, too, that I don't know for a fact. They should pressurize at around most classic airplanes, 737s, Airbuses, all pressurized around the same altitude. Depending on what your cruise altitude is, it's going to be around 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 feet. Now the 787, however, the 787 will pressurize much lower. I think it's like, what, 4,000? Something like that, which is pretty incredible. So you feel less fatigued. Whoa, a couple of monster super chats have entered the chat. Statui, another $50 super chat. Bienvenidos en Baja, sir. Glad to see you flying to my home airport. Statui, this is your home airport? Oh, that's awesome, man. I downloaded a freeware off the Flight Sim TO because the default one was okay, but it didn't really do it justice. I think this one is it's not perfect, but it's a little bit better. So, Statui, thank you so much, man, for a massive $50 super chat. Appreciate that. I can't wait to come down on the approach and see the beautiful Cabo Airport, south of Baja, man. It's beautiful down there. It's a beautiful time. And Statui, I don't know if you heard this, but my first ever flight as a captain was into Cabo. So I do have an intimate relationship with this airport as well. Thank you for the support, man. And Spiritual Wangs with the $20 super chat as well. Thank you, sir, for that. Very kind of you. Very generous as a V1. Been a while. I hope you and the fam setting into Georgia okay. Always great to have a V1 stream on your birthday. Spirit Wings, well, happy birthday to you, man. Happy birthday. Enjoy it. Hope you have some nice beverages if you're of age. If not, still hope you have some nice beverages. Hope you have a wonderful birthday. And yes, we're settling into Georgia. We're settling in Georgia, man. I got to be honest with you. I'll always be a Texan. Texas is the best state in America. But where we live, the weather's been great. So far, it's been a beautiful spring. I don't think I've ever lived through a spring like I've lived through this spring in Georgia. It's been beautiful in the mornings, beautiful in the evenings, wonderful at night. It's just green, the trees. I'm loving it, man. I'm loving it. I do need to go out and go fishing, though. I haven't gone fishing yet, which is hard to believe. Instead of fishing, I like to come stream with you guys, which may sound like, oh, why are you doing that? No, I enjoy streaming with you guys, too. So I really do, and thank you for the support. I hope my appreciation comes through the mic because I am very appreciative of you and everybody else. Thank you. Reconfigure for the RMP 16 Team Vodka. Why is that? Uh-oh. No. I want to land over the wall. I'm coming in 3-4, 2-4, 3-4, whatever it is. Because that's the first one I did. What's the winds down there, Vodka? What are the winds like? You tell me what it's like. No high minimums, captains, please. All right, so I have a confession to make. And then we'll pass the statute of limitations on this. And trust me, reports were filed and everything was filed. Nothing went wrong. But when I was a new FO, I was still green less than 100 hours. I was accidentally paired with a captain that was also green. And we were going somewhere that was very not standard, i.e. South America. So we found out about halfway down there, like, ooh. So we had to go through the proper channels. But we definitely made sure we were on point for that approach. But yeah, it happens sometimes. You try to minimize it. 150 at 12 of the winds. Oh, we need to start down. Uh-oh, we missed our top of descent. I'm setting 30. Thrust idle descent. We got to pause the music. We got to do work. What time to do work? I've been up here chilling. Man, we need to do a longer long haul because I feel like right now I've just settled in. We're vibing. We got the tunes on. He says reconfigure. Let's get the latest and greatest ATIS. Let's do some work here. You guys ready to do some work? Let's do some work. Weather request. I don't want LA. I don't want Mazatlan. I want the beautiful Cabo. Cabo? Cabo.
On the flight deck, ladies and
Oh.
gentlemen. As you may have noticed, we have begun our initial descent down to our destination. Now would be a good time to wrap up any business you need to take care of as we prepare for approach. If you are up, once you return to your seat, we ask that you remain seated till the aircraft arrives safely at the gate. Flight attendants, please prepare the cabin for a ride.
20 degrees down bubble. Captain AB, no, they didn't catch it, man. They didn't. That's what was crazy. Because there are a lot of things in place to minimize that, but sometimes it happens. All right, receive messages. Wait, from VATSIM? No, I don't want that. Oh, yeah. Okay. We have 150 at 12. Uh-oh, we do have to reconfigure. Oh, that's going to change the whole arrival. Okay, so we're going to find out how screwed up we can make this box. Please don't crash. We're going to do RNAV 16 now on the Aneca 1 Alpha. And we're coming in via Exida. 1 Alpha. On the approach, RNAV 16. Sure. Exida or Maroc? Can I do Maroc? I'll do Maroc. Insert. That might have just screwed up a lot of stuff. I don't know. That actually... Alright, we've got 15. I'm going to set 15,000 right now until we actually find the bottom altitude. So I'm going to set 15 as set. We're going to manage up the speed. I'm going to go Prague page, Mike, Sierra Delta. Perf, next phase. Oh, we need to print off the weather. I never printed it off, dang it. Or did I? I didn't. Atsu, receive messages. Let's print this. So it's 150 at 12, 29 or 87. 150 at 12, 29 or 87. Temperature, it's probably beautiful. Let's rip it off. They put it over here. Oh, I can't read it because the sun. 3.2. Oh, wow. 3.2 on the temp. What is our baro down there? So we are having an interesting... Okay, we're going to do this. We're going to go vertical speed. Why are we stalling? Why are we at idle but not descending? What is going on? I have control. Autopilot's off. Why is the autopilot off? That's weird. Thrust idle, open descent. Nav. Mr. Martini, I saw that. Did you give a shout out when you went through Noonan? Good deal, man. All right, now we're coming down. We'll keep an eye on. We're below green dot. Jeez, let's get the seatbelt sign on. All right. Hayden Supra. Do you have a Supra? Supras are cool cars, man. Any idea when the Just Flight Fokker 28 releasing? No, I have no idea, but if anybody knows anybody at Just Flight, tell them to hit me up because if they need to do some pre-release hype train, it's probably the second, one of the, I'd say top 3 most excited airplanes I'm excited for. Just because I love the 146 so much and Just Flight did such a wonderful job with that airplane, I know that this one is going to be just as awesome. Probably even better because it's newer, new tech, new rendering. I mean, and the videos, I've watched every single one. They look amazing. I cannot wait to do some regional hops in that thing. I really, truly cannot wait. That's just a unique, quirky aircraft. But I have no idea when the release date is, man. All right, it looks like we're coming down. I don't know what that was all about. So let's go ahead and get back to our charts. RNP 16. We're coming off of Maroc, which is a bottom at 4,000. We're on the 1 Alpha now. Arrival, and we're basically going off of a Aneca, which is at or above 200. Can I go direct? We're already at that. Aneca. I tell you what, let's go direct Maru. Direct Maru, insert. 15 is set. We're on open descent. We're catching up to it slowly. We're on the descent. Everything's looking good. Our bottom altitude for this approach is on the 16 RMP now. Is going to be an LNAV only. So we're going to do what? We're going to add 50 feet. So it's an MDA, must-do addition. We're 920 plus 50 is 970. So let's go perf next phase, 970. We won't need any LS push buttons, so we don't leave those off. Our baro is showing there. We're going to use auto brakes low, full reverse. Is there a landing distance calculator in this, and does it work? I don't think so. Ooh. I'm just going to run 0 winds, runway heading. Let's just say it's 160. Dry. We don't know any slope. No. And what am I missing? Landing distance available is going to be 9,800 feet. 9,800 feet. Runway slope is 0. Full weight, pounds, approach speed. I don't know, let's say 145 knots. Why can't I calculate it yet? What are we missing? Runway elevation says 100 feet. There it is. Calculate. Let's see, low brakes, 9165. So just a rough estimate. We're going to do medium brakes just because I don't trust it. So medium brakes selected. Brake medium. Idle. Open descent, we're navin'. Let's help it out with a little speed brake. And you know how else we can get down faster? We're going to select speed and we're going to roll this up. So when we roll this up in selected speed, the airplane's going to pitch down to get to that speed. So you combine that with a little speed brake. Watch our descent rate. Say, I hope there's no children on board because their ears are going to be popping. So we're really going to increase the rate of descent here. Even though it's all automatic and calculated for this, this will still get your ears to, you'll feel it. 5,000, 6,000 feet per minute here in the descent. But we might actually catch up to this. 310 on the descent, boards out. We're coming down. I'm cutting you off again, Team Vodka? Well, you told me to do it, so here you go. Sounds are up, boards are out. Oh, yeah, that is beautiful, though. Beautiful day in Cabo. Wind noise is nice and loud up front. Steven, the X-Craft E175, yeah. I wish it was in Microsoft. I feel like they did a good job with that in X-Plane 12, but we talked about it earlier. I'm not feeling the love in 12 right now. Hayden says the 146 is my top 3. I'd go as far as saying it a lot more enjoyable than the PMDG, but I'm waiting on the old stuff coming out of FS Labs, Concorde, hopefully a Metroliner. Ooh, a Metroliner. Yeah, a Metroliner would be sweet. I totally agree with you, Hayden. So I would honestly say my top 3 aircraft in Microsoft right now, payware. Top 3 payware airplanes that you spend money for. Phoenix, because how can you not? It's literally has everything. And people are like, well, why not PMDG? You're a Boeing hater. No, they don't have an EFB, so therefore Phoenix has more features, so Phoenix has got to be number 1. I honestly think I'm going to slide the BAE 146 into number 2. Because of what you get, I don't know, 8 or 9 variants. You get an amazing flight model. You get amazing detail and graphics and just all around. I literally have nothing bad to say about the BAE 146. And when I have nothing bad to say about an airplane, I rank it high. Baro was 2987, so let's go ahead and set 2987. 2987 is set. They are synced. And let's go ahead and do this. 2987. Oh, looks like, hey, Chaos, looks like they need to update this ISIS here. All right, let's go ahead and stow the speed brakes. Let's manage the descent now. So now we're speed descent. It should shallow out. Well, in theory. It is. It's shallowing out here. So Maroc is at 4,000, so we can go ahead and set 4 since we're in managed mode. So we should catch up to our 3-degree path when we get here. We went a little bit past it, so this is when it's going to intercept the vertical deviation. That's what this little squiggly line is. So this has got to slide in there. Once we hit this, we should be on profile. We're still going down below it, but it should level off to about 1,000 feet, or not level off. It should reduce descent to 1,000 feet per minute until reaching the actual intercept point here. So we're looking good. We'll go ahead and disarm the spoilers as well. I didn't mean to arm those. All right, we are looking good. Out of 16, we're coming down into Cabo, my friends. ATR, BAE, Tyson, I need to spend more with the ATR. The reason I don't rank it higher is because of I think the model, while nice, it's like it's a Zobo-esque, you know? It's like, you look at the exterior of the 146, then look at the exterior of the ATR. Not saying the ATR is bad by any means. I'm just saying 146 looks better on the outside. I cannot wait for a 350. Is anyone even... Oh, there is someone making the 350. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be nice when it comes out in a couple of years. What are your top 3 on wish list? Like legit wish list or things that aren't coming out? So 7.2, I'll say any tri-jet. Give me a 7.2, give me an L1011. Heck, I'd even take an MD-11, although that'd be the least of my favorites. I just want a tri-jet because they're different. They're older but modern. 7.2, obviously take the cake, probably number 1. What else do I want? A 757. I want a 7.5. I want a 7.2 or any other tri-jet. I want a 757. And probably some prop like a Metroliner or something with a very good, accurately detailed turboprop system. Accurately detailed. Oh, screw that. 744. PMDG 744. So yeah, everyone that says I'm a Boeing hater, my top 3 wish lists are all 3 of Boeing. 7.2 or tri-jet, 757, 747, 400, or earlier, I'd take a Fila 747, 200. So that's my wish list. If any of those drop, we'll probably be taking some time off of work. All right, here we go. 12.9 for 4, we're looking good. Team Vodka, are you on Unicom? Cabo traffic. Mexicana 357. We're just over Marux intersection out of 12.6. Setting up for the RNAV 16 Cabo. You're 10 miles in front of me, dude. What's your indicated? I can see him on TCAS. 10 miles out. We're slowing up. Steven, yeah, the Fila 742 would be amazing as well. So, for those that don't have it or never heard of it or you are still X-Plane, I think they have it in X-Plane 12. So I basically only have time because my sim is not at my house. My sim is at an office. I literally treat this like a business. So I very rarely stream or fly my sim just for personal use, personal fun. When I wasn't on Microsoft and I was just doing the X-Plane, the only airplane I would fly off stream was the Fila 747-200. That's how much I enjoyed that airplane. I think we only did 1 or 2 streams in it. My favorite of which was when we did the Kitech approach. If you haven't seen that one, you got to at least go find that video on my channel and watch the replay when we did the Kitech approach in the 747-200. That airplane was a true gem, probably, in my opinion, the most detailed, my favorite, most fun to fly airplane to fly in X-Plane 11. So I would love indeed for that to come over to Microsoft, but I just don't think it will. I don't think that's a possibility. All right, we are going through 10,000 feet. Let's go ahead and get our wing lights on, logos. We'll get everything on here. Everything looks good. We're at a 10.1, descending 4 on the approach. We also need to slow to 250 knots. 250 knots, activated and confirmed.
30 miles out, RNAV 16 for Cabo.
Well, this ought to be interesting. So let's go ahead and slow it up. We're violating our speed, 250 below 10, but Mexican radar probably won't be able to pick it up quite yet. The San Antonio sewer pipe, oh yeah. J Aviation, I do love the 707. I flew the 707 in the FSX days. I think we had Was it Captain Sim? And the Captain Sim of FSX was nothing like whatever happened in Microsoft. It was actually a good airplane. I'm pretty sure it was the Captain Sim 707. Oh, Hayden, the PMDG JS41? Dude. Yes, JS41 would be sweet. Jetstream. I flew that airplane a ton in FSX. I'm slowing up. I'm going to slow all the way up to like, I'm going to do 220 just because I'm not sure where this guy is in front of me here. We're going to put this in below mode. Not seeing anybody yet. Maroc is the final approach fix. Cabo traffic. Mix count of 357 heavy. We're 16 miles from Maroc. Set up for the RNAV 16. We're currently slowing to 220 knots for the traffic in front of us. We're at 8,000. We're below VFE next speed. Let's extend flaps 1. Favorite GA plane? King Air, man. The Black Square. Black Square King Air. Black Square King Air. And I got about the analog caravan is pretty good too. Anything Black Square did, it's very good. I would recommend those. Yep, Captain Sim 7.0 and 7.2. Yep. What will I do first when the 380 releases? Migs, we'll probably do Atlanta to Orlando. Atlanta to Orlando on the A380. All right, recording is ready. We are ready to go. Oh, Alex, I do have the C414. That is also a very, 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 very good GA. Cessna 414. And also the Milviz 310 is good. They're all good. 310, Cessna 310, 414, Black Square stuff is good. Good. Atlanta to Orlando with everyone. All right, here's the deal. The very first time we fly the 380 on stream, we're going to do full load of passengers, and we're going to do real-time loading with one jet bridge. We will probably board for over an hour. How are we looking on fuel? 15.8. We're looking good. 15.3 on landing. This has got, because the alternate, that page is not accurate, but we've got plenty of gas. We're looking good. We're below max landing weight. We're doing medium auto brakes. And we are slowing down, looking good. Welcome to Cabo. I think I can see traffic out there. Oh, good. Actual torture. Yes. Miami to Fort Lauderdale. Mixfield to O'Hare. Oh, boy. Gate Agent Sim 2023. Exactly, Shaq. Gate Agent Sim. We'll sit up at the gate. We'll just watch a whole load of GSX passengers load a 380 on a single jet bridge. All right, let's go ahead and bring it on back. Let's bring it back to 180. He's 5 miles. We'll do 190. All right, can we do app nav in this thing? Approach won't arm. So we're gonna have to fly it in nav mode, and then we're just gonna do visual. So this is important to note. So this is an RNAV approach, but because it's not modeled, you could kind of fly it in nav, but that's not how you would really want to do it. You'd want to be an app nav, which is not modeled. So we're gonna leave it in nav mode until we pick up the runway, and then we're just gonna hand fly. We'll turn the bird on. We'll hand fly this puppy down. So after Maroc, it is 2900 for SD80. Was there not an ILS to this runway? I guess there's not. Huh. All right, here's 4,000. 180, we're Altstar right now, looking good. Vertical speed to 2,000.
Cabo traffic.
900.
Heavy 8 miles. 6. Cabo.
Vertical speed 2,900. Coming back to 180. I'll tell you what, we'll just do this. We'll go open. Thrust idle, open, descent. And recording is starting now. VF Phoenix minus 210, flaps 2. Look at this. Not a cloud in the sky. Looks pretty good though for 12 noon flying. Tyler Berg, we'll try to do our best on the butter, my friend. We'll try to do our best. Just start to see the airport there in the horizon.
Cabo traffic, Osprey 784, heavy 20 nautical miles out.
After SD 800, the next fix is SD 801, which is final approach fix at 2,000 feet. So we only have 900 feet to lose.
2,500.
Radar altimeter is alive. Speed alt star. We're 180. Flaps 2.
Traffic, Cactus 9 heavy, 5 miles, 16.
Cabo traffic, Mexicana 357 heavy. We're turning final over SD 800, about a 14-mile final for 16 Cabo. Speed alt. And we'll just go ahead and set 2,000 in here now. And down we go. Thrust idle, open descent. Let's go ahead and dial in 160 knots now. What is our VAP speed on this approach? VAP of 143. So I'll tell you what, we'll manage the speed. Let's configure. Gear down. Spoilers armed. Outside view. Oh, Statui, the $20 super chat again. Statui, my man. Look at those gear doors. Appreciate you, man. Instituto Nacional de Migración and AFAC are waiting with the surprise ramp check for you. All I know is there's going to be a line or something in the customs, and I'm going to get ramp checked, which is not fun. VFE next minus 10 flaps full. Statui, thank you so much, man, for the $20 super chat. I appreciate that. Very, very kind of you, sir. Hopefully this landing's for you, my friend. We're going to bump up that VAP speed. That's a little bit low. Let's do 147. Give myself 4 knots there. Bump it up a little bit. We're looking good. We're leveling 2,000. And Migs with a 14 Canadian bones. Appreciate you so much, Migs. Mean you don't want to enjoy the 2-hour wait on the taxiway in the middle of the Emirates conga line?
Just a bank angle check trying to distract
Oh boy, now this is what's happening. I see what's happening.
The more you realize I have nothing
Jesus.
to say, just distracting for that go around.
Migs, thank you, man. Appreciate you. We're not going to be in the Emirates conga line. Autopilot is coming off. My goodness. My goodness. Flight directors are coming off. And then Mr. Mike P over there trying to also cause a go around with $5 bank angle check. Appreciate you, sir. We're going to match and mash. Auto thrust is off. We're getting all the things today. Mike P, appreciate you so much, man. Thanks for the support. Thank you all, Migs and Statui. Mike P, you guys are awesome. Thank you for the support. Let's not go around here because I'm hungry and I want to have lunch. And I'm going to go home and make some chimichurri. Fajitas. All right, we're a little bit fast. Let's go ahead and start working it out. Birds on. I will not pause. I will not pause. I do not need to pee. Yeah. All right, go around altitude. We're going to set 3,000 feet here. Cabo traffic. Mexicana 357 heavy short final. 16 Cabo. Descent rate check.
Cabo traffic, Cactus 909 heavy. We are clear 16.
We are clear 16. Sounded like a Texan there.
Cabo traffic, Osprey 784, heavy 10 nautical miles out for our now 16.
I feel really low. I don't trust that vertical deviation donut. Let's go ahead and level this off here a little bit. 1,100 feet. Let me do a magic barrel ref check. 2987 is still accurate. A little bit below that. See, this is where I have questions. Like, I have questions on the flight model. I feel like we're very, very flat.
100 above.
Looking beautiful, though. This is,
500.
for those who don't know.
Terrain.
Yeah,
Terrain.
I had this on my test sector as well. Maybe you don't think Cabo's in the database.
400.
So we're right on the vertical deviation, which is approximately a 3-degree path down. I'm coming in a little bit faster here just because the speed's shifting around. Oh, would also help if we went config full.
400.
Oh my gosh. This is why we do checklists, chat. That's definitely, I'm definitely going to get RAM checked.
300.
Ooh, don't lose it there.
100. 50.
Plenty of
40,
energy.
30. 20. Retard. 10.
Butter me out.
5.
Oh, that's not going to be a butter, I don't think. Spoilers. I didn't want to keep flaring. We could have buttered it. Fly that nose down. Manual brakes. $70 knots. Folkwell. Folkwell got us for that flap config. Yeah. We're going to pretend that didn't happen. Chief pilot is going to give me a call for sure. Well, that's all right. I'll take an overnight here. You're grounded effective immediately. I'll take a grounding here in Cabo. Let's go ahead and clear it. We'll take a 210. I definitely had much better butter. I was just kind of doing traffic work, but we'll take it. Cabo traffic, makes count 357, heavy clear, 16, taxi to the gate, Cabo. All right, we'll stop the recording. All right, so this is where we're going to make a nice tight turn. We'll stow you, we'll get the flaps up. So look at that, I'm doing 9 knots. We'll do a nice tight turn here on the taxiway. Microsoft Float Simulator. It can be floaty. We didn't float though, we were in the touchdown zone. But I had to bring that power out way early because we were just, this airplane seems to float quite nicely. Alright, but we're on the ground, we're looking good. We'll leave the APU off. No, I'll tell you what, we'll go ahead and get the APU fired up so we can do a shutdown. Turn angle check. New company bulletin during recurrent. Fake pilots. Yeah, there's a nice meme that's like, when the safety meeting you're in today is about what you did yesterday, it's just like this like Chihuahua's face. It's pretty funny. It is a headwind. Exactly, Chaos. Got a question about your Throttletek from ordering 2 at your door. Hayden, I worked a deal with Roberto, so I didn't order specifically. I talked to him about a sponsorship, and then I can't remember how long it took. I know it took a while though. They make each one, so when you order one, they literally go to the drawing board and make it. Ooh, that guy had a wing drop there. Oh, let's get that second main down, my friend. All right, coming in. Look at that taxi line, center line for the win there. How do you able to measure runway center line from 1,000 feet before touchdown? Always offset by several feet, never get on center line. You just gotta make sure you know where your center line reference is. So like on the inside, in the real airplane, it's right about on the inside of this pillar. And you just gotta put it there and keep it there, man. It's really all there is to it. Don't make it more complicated than it is. If you're not landing on center line, that's because you're not putting the airplane where you want it to be. The airplane doesn't know what you're thinking, so it's not gonna think to get the center line. If you're not there, make an input, put the airplane on center line. That's where I get a lot of that. You fly the airplane. Do not let the airplane fly you. All right, this is gonna be a tight right turn here. Let's juice it up. Let's crank that nose wheel over. Little asymmetrical thrust situation. Nice turn. Was that a marshaller? Well, by golly, I think it is. That's not going to be correct. It's pretty accurate. He's just standing there without moving his hands. I've seen that quite a few times. Uh-oh, I'm not going to be able to see you. That dude is like... Look how big these containers are compared to this guy. Alright, I'm just going to trust him. Oh, come on. Burp. Brakes are set. Yeah, he stopped us way early. Stopped us way early. Alright, brakes are on, APU is on. Let's do a shutdown sound though, I'm curious. We're not going to do GSX unloading.
Ground services are not available.
Cool deal. Migs, I think it was a combination of both, my friend. Ah, that's nice, though. Look at that. Look at 3 330s all lined up. I'm going to take a screenshot of that. That's pretty cool. I wish I could see their liveries, but that looks pretty sweet. Not bad for freewares to two-way. Not bad at all. Let's watch a replay, guys. Man, we did that flight. It's only 3:11. We did really good. All right. Real quick, we're gonna go. Is there state saving? I don't think so. I don't think there is. So let's just go ahead and start engines. Can I start both at the same time? Let's just see what happens. Oh, helps if you do that. It looks like we're going to start both at the same time. Let's go back to replay cam. I'll see your livery, Team Vodka. Where's yours at? Are you coming in? Oh, there's another one. We have 4 330s on the ramp. That's pretty neat. I want to diagnose this replay. I can't believe we were flaps 3, guys. You guys are supposed to watch me. We were flaps 3, like all the way to the ground. The 330 is 320's hot, Mom? Yeah. Indeed. Alright, we got 2 good engines. Flaps, like 3, because apparently I don't know how to configure an airplane for landing. And let's go ahead and reconfigure our lights. We had everything on. That's on, that's on, that's on. And we'll get rid of the APU for now. 2 avails. Let's do the replay. Oh, forgot to disconnect. Yeah, that flaps 3 is bothering me because I can't believe we left it
2,500.
that long. Look, when did I see it? Right, 1,000 feet. Man, 1,000 feet. Breaks off. Now I don't know how the replay is in the headwind. We'll see here. Oh, that still looks pretty good. I don't know if the flaps are like that. Oh, there it is. It's coming down. Medium auto brakes really did have a nice deceleration. Let's go ahead and watch it again. Let's see how we did here on this side. Look at that view, though. Oh, that'll be good for the final replay. Look at this. Look at the trees. This is exactly what Cabo looks like coming in here. This is so neat. We can pretend it's a 321 flaps 3 landing. We won't say anything. Flaps 3.5. If you ever become a real pilot, keep an eye on those flaps. No biggie. Thanks, Keith. I'm going to keep that in mind. I'm going to keep that in mind, my friend. I didn't initially. A little wash right there. Oh, I should have taken my engines out of thrust reversers. Here we come in over the road. A little bit of that hill there. Into the flare. Where is it at? Yes, yeah, I could have definitely held it. But I just wanted to be legal. A little off center line too. Remember, what is the #1 key to a super buttery landing, folks? It is a stable final approach. And when you're configuring flaps to, when you're configuring flaps full at 300, 400 feet, I would not consider that a stable approach. But let's go ahead and watch this one here. We'll watch this touchdown, and then I'm going to leave you guys with a few more, and then I'm going to get out of here. Over 400 likes on the stream. Oh my goodness. Thank you guys. Very, very kind of y'all for supporting the channel, supporting the stream. Good deal. Good deal. Is the pay we're using? No, I'm using Flight Recorder, man. It's the best replay tool out there. Changed my mind. Flight Recorder off Flight Sim TO. It's free. You can save replays. You can load replays. Works with everything. Perfect. Let's see how we touch down. The Center for Social Readaptation. They approached at 1.6. The Center for Social Readaptation. The prison, is that the... right over here? Where would that be? It was back there, right? See how we did. Look at that trailing link. Or not trailing link. Whatever that's called when it's hanging like that. It did feel like a long haul. I enjoyed it, man. I hope you guys did. A little unstable. But see how flat we are? I don't know if I believe that. That's where I start to have questions. There we go. Round out. Flare it up. And I just let her come down. Definitely a 210. Looks like that wheel is doing weird things. Definitely a 210er. But I'm not upset about it. Actually, we don't need to do that yet. Let's move that along. Alright, guys. Easily a 210, like I said, but it is what it is. They can't all be winners. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this one today. I really had fun flying this airplane. I think we're going to continue to fly it a little bit more as it gets more updated. Thank you all for the support, the likes, the donations, the membership chats. Migs, thank you for another fantastic stream. Thank you, Migs. I appreciate you. You guys, I hope you had fun today. I had fun on this one. We're going to be... I don't know. It's going to be up to the commercial pilots for the next airframe, but we'll be back in Mexico probably tomorrow. I'm going to go home, cook up some Mexican food because I'm going full effect for this little mini tour. I hope you guys enjoy the last few replays here. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, get those see-yas in chat. I'm V1. See ya!